for it.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Today it's Wednesday. How you guys doing? We're here with Connor Counterpoints. We're going to talk about some drama, and let me set up some background of the drama. Adam, you jump in if I missed anything. Okay.
I will.
So the Connor, because he's such a bad boy, he he was talking to Destiny, trying to absolve his own guilty conscience because I guess you got blamed or blaming yourself for some of the conflict that arose from the Destiny Sean conversation because of unclear uh, debate question in the DMs and all this stuff. And in the conversation, and I don't know if there's context to this, and I'll ask about that after the setup. You kind of threw me and Adam under the bus, seemingly for no reason. Attacked, you said that like we are audience captured, which is interesting because I think very famously we are not audience captured, number one. And number two, there's sort of like this weird idea that exists in Destiny's audience that's based off of a conversation that we had, I think, with Destiny like a year ago, where there's like a bunch of progressive people in Destiny's audience, even though we have a bunch of people in Destiny's audience who are fans of ours, who are like convinced that me and Adam are secret right wing Trump supporting shills. And even though that could be as further from the truth for people that actually watch our content. And so when you said that, it kind of played again directly into that negative stereotype of us.
Sure.
So is there anything I missed, Adam, that you want to add before we throw it over to Connor?
Well, I don't know if people want the back story on the Sean drama or not. Like you basically a panel conversation took place between Sean, friend of the show, actual Justice Warrior, and Destiny, and you were involved in setting up that panel discussion, and there was some fallout from that panel discussion where Sean was accused also of lying and being like audience captured shill. I don't know what the dishonesty I think is the charge on the table. I don't know if I think audience capture and dishonesty are kind of the same thing. So, but we don't need to get too much into that. But so this was a response to that.
We might need to just
Okay.
because I think that might be the crux of some of the people stepping on each other's toes. But yeah, just to give, I'll try to make it brief. Hippy dippy. I like Dylan Burns. We don't agree on politics, but I think he's like a fundamentally good guy. He's bringing back the Hippy Dippy, which is the panel debate show, and he wanted some big names for the first show. I reached out to Lauren. Lauren says she'll do it as long as Sean is there. Sean, and then I incorrectly take my hyperbolic translation of the debate prompt. The debate prompt is democracy on the ballot in 2024? I text Sean, hey, Lauren wants you to do this panel debate, will Trump end democracy in the upcoming election or something like that. That's my extrapolation. And so I give that to Sean. Lauren asked me for clarification on the prompt, and I give her the exact verbiage. I don't clarify that for Sean. And so he shows up to the debate kind of ready for like a pretty narrow interpretation of the debate prompt. But they get wrapped around that for about 30 to 40 minutes because he feels like he's prepared for a debate that no one else has. And he feels like they're expanding the definition unnecessarily to the point that it's almost like vacuous or meaningless. And so I contributed to the relational fallout between these characters by screwing up sending the debate prompt. So that's the start of this drama.
Right, but somehow we get caught up in the drama because you go on Destiny's stream, and I mean, we both listen to the stream, and the stream seemed like you're trying to make amends with Destiny, and I don't. It's like you threw him a bone, calling us audience captured. What do you mean by audience captured?
Well, so this is a criticism that I'll have. I'll acknowledge something, and then I'll levy a criticism straight at you. So one of the things that you've said repeatedly, or has been said repeatedly, is that I don't watch the show. And it's true that I jump in every now and then, hang out for an hour or so, and then dip out. I have my, very busy schedule as an excuse. But the main thing that I would say was shocking, I guess, in the past few months was that, like, it felt like the centrist vibe around Trump and Biden is that Trump has various morally impugnable reasons that should disqualify him from office, but Biden is such a moron. Well, not moron. His brain is leaking out of his ears, and so as a result, it's actually a toss-up, abstaining from the election, or maybe leaning slightly towards Biden or slightly towards Trump or whatever. But it felt like what happened was Biden dropped out, and then you found reasons to support Trump wholeheartedly. And so that didn't, to me, doesn't feel like it lines up with espoused centrist liberal principles or independent liberal principles.
Well, first of all, I stopped calling myself a centrist like months ago. So I don't even
Yeah, you
claim that
started
label anymore.
independent.
Yes, yeah. But
Okay.
I'll go back to the original question. What do you mean by audience capture?
What I mean by it, if you're an independent or a centrist and you're dealing with two buckets of shit in front of you and you have to eat one, and then one of them is replaced with a bologna sandwich instead of a bucket of shit, it doesn't make sense that you would be like, I'm still going to eat the bucket of shit.
So I define audience capture as being dishonest. Like, the problem is you're going on to Destiny Stream and you're basically calling us dishonest.
No, I'm not. And audience capture, by the way, this is why I was saying that audience capture needs to, we need to get into the crux of the meaning of that. Everyone has a degree, especially if you're successful at all. I've said this multiple times as well. Everyone has a degree of, and bear in mind, I'm taking care of a child while we're doing this. Everyone has a degree of audience capture. I have a degree of audience capture, as an example, with my Warhammer YouTube, where, for instance, there's plenty of content that I am very passionate about. But what I do is I produce the content that I know will do well with my audience. And so when I'm saying that there always seems to be a caveat for why Trump is acceptable, and it doesn't make sense to me, that's what I'm talking about. It feels like if you came out super hard against Trump, then a significant amount of your audience would be pissed off. And I've seen Sitch be basically, I've seen Sitch say things that make sense, but I don't understand your position on Trump.
Well, you don't know my position on Trump. Like, you never.
So feel free to
show,
articulate it.
Look, I don't want to make this about Trump. This is about
Why
you
not?
going on.
That's
look,
the issue.
No, it's not. The issue
That's
is
my
that
issue with you. That's my issue with you.
Oh my God.
Well, wait. Before we even get into that, I'm confused because, when we're talking about audience capture, and I mean, I could understand that you have kind of like a different definition to it than Adam does, but it sounds like you do acknowledge that there is, even from your definition, a level of dishonesty in the action, because you're kind of phrasing it like, oh, someone who would kind of do something a little, maybe they don't really necessarily agree with it, but they would do something or cover a story in a specific way because they know it will appeal to their audience, right? Is that how you're...
We're talking about, what we're talking about is, if we want to call it lies or dishonesty, we're talking about lies of commission or omission, right? So I would never categorize this as a lie of commission, meaning that you know something to be false and you are actively, just saying the wrong thing to be a dick, right? Like, I feel like that's a far more grievous sin. What I do think is very common in the creator space is lies of omission, where you know that there's contradictory information that might rub your audience the wrong way, and so you just don't focus on it. You focus on other stuff.
Because, I mean, I understand the difference between those two things. I would say that those are both dishonest actions. And, I mean, is there an example of either of us ever doing that you were kind of thinking about?
Well, I think the indictment from the liberal or progressive side would be that you guys seem to exclusively focus on anti-leftist rhetoric.
That's not true at all, though. I mean,
okay.
It was,
so
it,
how,
it
so how
was,
do you feel? So let me ask you a question. How do you feel
wait,
about
wait,
James Lindsay these days?
What did you say?
How do you feel about James Lindsay these days?
This is the problem. I think that you and a lot of people don't watch us regularly, which is fine. You see odd clips here and there, and then you see like, Twitter comments, because anyone that watches me regularly knows that I've been saying for like 2 to 3 years that I think James Lindsay's research in terms of like understanding what wokeness is and what cultural Marxism is completely on point. But I think that he's kind of stared into the abyss for too long and has now been sort of attributing it to literally almost everything in ways that I don't think make sense or even applicable. I mean, we even covered the James Lindsay Destiny debate like, 2 years ago or whatever. And I think that actually, and we were kind of, and I was taking a lot of Destiny's sides, not on everything, but on some things. And so it's weird that you would ask that as like a testing the water question. And it was even weird too, because like when you made that comment about, Adam being audience captured, like literally the previous day, I think it was the previous day, Adam, we were talking about Kamala Harris's, housing policies. And, Adam was like praising a lot of her economic policies, not the price gouging cap thing, but like, the building new houses and things of that nature. So it seems like that you were just kind of speaking off of a vibe cultivated by sort of Destiny's echo chamber, which I don't think is even remotely accurate.
Yeah, talk about the third. Hold on. Let's talk about the third type of lying. The type of lying where you think you're telling the truth, but you're really talking nonsense. Because that's what's going on here.
Okay, then how about, since we're all so truth focused here, and you feel like I am being misled by clips and vibes, why don't you articulate your perspective on the upcoming election and what you're going to do with it?
Why? Look, we're not
Why?
here.
Because it matters to me. Why?
Yeah, because then listen to our content. That's all we talk about all day long. We don't need to say it to your face.
11 hours of your content in order to find your perspective on the election. You can't articulate it to me right now.
If you don't know our positions, why not just keep your mouth shut?
Because you pissed me off by saying exactly what you just said right now, where I found a 5-minute clip of you saying why you were potentially voting for Trump. It was literally a 5-minute clip.
Okay, so what was that?
Shut up.
What was that?
Shut up. Adam,
what was that clip?
That clip was you saying that I'm thinking about the policies, I'm thinking about the consequences. I'm not necessarily as concerned with the past as everybody else is, so that's what I'm focusing on. That's why I'm considering a Trump presidency. I ask you, because I watched that clip and I say, would you say this is your position? And then you do what you're doing right now, which is one of the most annoying, smug things you can possibly do. And you say, well, if you don't watch my content, then I don't know what we have to talk about. It's like, I don't have 11 hours to watch your content. Why don't you just say what you believe?
Well, then shut your mouth.
If I just saw a 5-minute clip of you articulating an argument that I disagree with, and then I engage you with it, and then you pull back to you have to watch 11 hours of my content,
but I'm
still going to engage with you. That is a dumb way to conduct conversations.
Hey, Connor, do you accept that streamers are constantly clipped out of context?
Are you clipped out of context right now?
Yes, all the time.
Okay, so why don't you, since you've been
hold on,
in a 5-minute clip...
Don't answer the question. Answer the question. Do you accept that streamers are clipped out of context?
Yes.
Okay. So why aren't you aware of this when you're watching some 5-minute clip on Twitter?
Because 5 minutes is a long time to be able to articulate your positions, and the fact that you keep
still
being
can be clipped out of context.
Why don't you just say what your position is?
There's 2 reasons. First of all, I think what's kind of getting at Adam is that it's why, before he even talks about his position, it's like if the position is unclear, then why bring Adam up
why
as an
not
example?
Just shut your mouth?
Because I saw a 5-minute clip of you saying something annoying.
Is this
clip? So I say, Adam, is this representative of your position? Hold on. Say, watch my content. That's a dumb sentence.
Okay. Wait. First of all, again, and this kind of shows that and it's fine that if you don't watch our content regularly, that's fine.
Yeah, but we're not asking you to.
Okay. It's not like we've been.
Then why don't you say your position, Adam?
Wait, shut up, Connor. Let me just finish. Okay. Before, we're not doing the situation anymore where we just stream on Sunday for like 12 hours. We've been doing, streams from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for about 2 hours for the last like 2 months that are almost exclusively talking about all the various things that come up about elections. And so it's not like this is just this like impossible void of information to get through, number one. Okay, number two, this
So-
5 minute clip
so-
you're talking about, I don't know what you're referring to. Is this when, because the thing that got everyone super triggered, like got Pisco super triggered and all this stuff, was when Adam was talking about not wanting to vote for, or he would vote for Trump over Biden because he thought Biden was mentally incompetent. Is that what this
Yes.
5 minute clip is from?
It's around that same time frame. Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, wouldn't it, but Adam's, I mean, I don't know the clip you're talking about specifically, but as someone who's talked to Adam a lot about this, his entire argument was based around, or seemed to be primarily based around the fact that Biden was mentally incompetent.
Okay, so now
which-
that we no
which-
longer have a mentally incompetent candidate, what is he doing?
Hold on. Okay. So it seems weird to, there's two issues here, which is number one, I think you made a mistake by assuming someone's position once now that Biden's out of the race, number one. And then number two, even beyond that, why would that be an example of audience capture if someone has a position saying, I don't want to vote for someone who seems mentally incompetent to be president? It doesn't seem like audience capture. It seems like a normal opinion.
Yeah.
Seems rational.
I've had a conversation with Phil Labonte on this exact perspective.
Right.
A very calm, normal, rational conversation.
So are you
Okay.
admitting you were
Do you know
lying
what
about the
happens?
audience capture?
Stop it with the lying, dude. You are pissing me off as much as Pisco and Destiny are pissing me off right now. Pisco mostly, to be honest, because him and his DGG sycophants. Yeah, I'm gonna go do that right now. Sorry, I'm gonna have to turn off my camera.
It's okay.
So Pisco's been pissing me off, and his little DGG sims have been pissing me off as well because they keep accusing Sean of lying when they don't have any evidence of it. So how about instead of accusing me of lying, why don't you just tell me what you think? Adam, I asked you on Twitter probably 90 days ago to clarify your perspective. You don't.
Look, I run a show. I talk for 2 hours a day about my perspective. I talk for 8 hours on Sunday.
Yes.
Like, you understand Twitter is this like
What?
miscommunication platform.
No, I'm arguing with somebody while I'm going to pick up our son.
Oh, sorry. You're not.
Sure.
Oh my
Sorry,
God.
what were you saying?
Maybe this is a bad time. Maybe we should let you go. I don't want to come between you and your family, man.
What? Okay. Number one,
You're breaking up.
Yeah, you're breaking up.
Conversation for you to be having when picking up our son from school.
Okay,
Yes,
why don't you
I'll be
just
very polite.
Yeah.
Adam, why don't you just mute
Yeah,
him
let me-
or kick him out or something?
You can read.
I don't
some-
want this-
Yeah. I muted him. There we go.
Okay. Maybe we'll
Oh,
just
I know.
reschedule this
I
conversation.
know. This is brutal. But anyway, just to finish my point. Look, obviously, Sitch and I talk 2 hours a day, like 3 to 4 days a week. We stream for 8 hours on Sunday. Like, anyone who watches the show knows my positions. Anyone who watches the show knows that, like, there's this completely ridiculous narrative that we all laugh about, we all joke about, that, you know, DGG and Destiny's community have started, that we're secret Trump supporters. Like, I don't see how you can watch the show and believe that. I literally said I am Kamala curious on a live stream a few days ago, right? I have said I am an undecided voter. So, but I just, the whole idea that that I can articulate my positions in a fucking tweet and not be taken out of context and taken to task on Twitter by all the people out to misrepresent us, to attack us unfairly, is just ridiculous. So, you know, pardon me for not wanting to be misrepresented on Twitter, right? Is that
Right.
is that a bad thing?
I've asked you 4 or 5 times just to articulate your position right now.
No, but do you understand that before Adam does
I don't
that?
care. Listen.
Wait.
I'm gonna be real.
Wait. Okay, calm.
Uh-huh.
Just wait. You're
Calm
upset.
Down.
You're upset
Yes.
because you don't like being called a liar. Okay, and that's fine.
Look,
And I get it, right? But you understand.
just don't be a liar, and then you won't be called
No, wait.
one.
Stop. I just, at the same token, okay, Adam is upset, and I'm upset because it's like we're constantly mischaracterized by people in Destiny's community for this, and so. Like, you understand, like, that's where we're coming from. I understand where you're coming from. I listened to you get attacked for believing the Second Amendment by a bunch of crazy people, okay, on Destiny's stream the other day. So,
Okay. I'm not Pisco. I'm not Hutch. I'm not Destiny. So if you say your position and I understand it, then I'll say, oh, okay, my bad. On Twitter, this is the vibe I got. My apologies. That's what I would do. But I'm getting frustrated because instead of just saying it, you're saying, well, we make content about this all the time. Don't you already know? Ha 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 ha. Why don't you just say it?
Okay. Well, would you like to elucidate your opinion?
No, not really.
Adam?
I mean, I didn't really prepare to have a conversation about my life story on this.
Your life story,
stream.
Adam. I am asking you for what your current thoughts are on the election and which way you think you're going.
Content, okay?
No,
there's my response. Okay.
Hey, here's my response: is I'm running 2 YouTube channels. I have a family. I work 40 hours a week. I'm calling you while I'm picking up my children and while I'm working my job. So if you respect
that is fine. Look, I can respect that, Connor. If you don't have time, then don't run to Destiny stream and lie about us. Is that? Look, can I just ask you that favor?
Really don't? No, you can't. And I'll tell you why. Because you can't
so
articulate. Stop.
So you think it's okay for you to go lie to Destiny about us because you don't have the time to watch our content? How is that moral?
You think it's okay? You think it's okay to have people who you are peer and parallel to politically, and when they ask you for your political opinions, you, as a political commentator,
look, this is what is laughable about you, Connor, because you come on the stream and you always act as though we are right wing and we share the same opinions as you, when that couldn't be further from the truth. It's actually uncomfortable.
Adam, what's uncomfortable is I ask you your opinion a dozen times and you spend 30 minutes talking to me about how I need to watch your content instead of you just articulating your position. That's what's uncomfortable. I've now asked you probably 6 or 7 times in the past 30 minutes to articulate your position. You haven't even given me the beginning of it.
Yeah, because I didn't prepare to come on this live stream and articulate my position.
What's to prepare? What do you think? What do you think? What's to prepare?
I think you're a dishonest liar. I mean, that's what I think.
Okay, I
think you're a paid shill by the Democratic Party. I think you are the one that is actually audience captured. I think you are the one that gets a paycheck from Brianna Wu. That's what I think. Yeah. I think you are legitimately right wing. I think you are legitimately right wing, and you are biting your tongue every time you have to shill for the Democratic Party. I don't have any respect for you, Connor. That's what I actually think.
Oh, thank you. Well, that's good. That's the first honest thing you've said in the past 30 minutes. So why don't you ask me what I think about the upcoming election?
Because I don't care. You're a paid shill. You're audience captured. I don't give a fuck what you think. You think whatever Brianna Wu tells you to think.
Yeah. See, that's why you're a moron. Okay.
Okay.
This is why.
Look, I could be wrong.
Well, okay. Then let me
look. That's just my opinion. Okay.
Okay. Well,
I'm entitled to my opinion.
Okay, fine. Then I'll go ahead and illuminate you with my perspective because I think that you're wrong, and I'm going to go ahead and show evidence for why I think you're wrong.
Show us the Brianna Wu paycheck.
Brianna Wu doesn't work for PV.
She works for a progressive PAC.
Anyways, let's focus on the actual. Let's focus on the actual issue.
Here comes the peacemaker. Sitch.
Yes, let's
focus on the issue. I don't care about peace. Let's focus on
who does the paycheck from Brianna Wu come from?
I have
Rebellion PAC.
I would like to talk about what actually is going on in reference to the election. Okay.
I don't care. Look, you're a paid shill. Why do I care about your opinion?
So shut up. Then. You don't care. Mute yourself. Deafen yourself. I don't care. So anyways, the thing is, Trump in 2022 tweeted out the fact that the massive fraudulent election would be enough to suspend the Constitution. That's a deal breaker for me. You can't come back from it. There's no argument that could possibly make him qualified for office. Therefore, I was willing and able to work with Democrats to maybe get somebody else in, maybe a lame duck president. But what's been going on recently is since Biden's dropped down, Kamala actually has a lot of policies that I viciously disagree with. Therefore, what's happening was almost a guaranteed rhino Republican protest vote in for the Democrats. Now, I don't think I can in good conscience click the top of the ticket. So how's that for a paid show
How much
position?
did Brianna Wu pay you to say that? That's what I want to know.
Okay, hold on.
Why would Brianna Wu not want me to vote for a Democrat? What are you talking about?
Look, it looks good when a Republican comes out and endorses the Democratic Party. That's why they pay people to do it.
And my endorsement is not for sale.
Well, how much do you make from Brianna Wu then?
Why is that relevant to the conversation?
Because she pays you out of Rebellion PAC money.
No, she doesn't.
She pays you out of her own pocket?
No, I work for PV, a different organization that she used to work for.
And what is PV?
What's that?
Project
What is
Veritas?
PV?
It's
Look,
progressive victory.
I
It's a
don't get
Democrat
any
PAC.
money from Trump. I don't get any money from the Democratic Party. I get super chats from our fans, and I tell them all the time, I'm going to give you my honest opinion. If you don't like it, don't super chat. Okay. Look, to call me audience captured is ridiculous when you are literally taking money from the Democratic Party.
Adam,
And I don't care who it filters through.
But you're such a moron. I've asked you for your opinion 8 times and you can't even articulate the first 30 seconds of it. Do you know how embarrassing that is to be a political commentator who can't comment on your own political opinion?
It has nothing. I mean, to be
Look, that is a mischaracterization. I talk for 2
hours.
hours a day about my political
Oh, but
opinion.
you can't do it in a confrontation.
Connor,
You can't do it where there might be pushback.
This is more of your lies. You're lying
stop.
again.
Let me explain what's going to happen. What's going to happen is as soon as you leave, he's going to explain his opinion. He just doesn't want to explain it to you because he doesn't like what you did.
Yeah, because you're a liar and you're going to go on Destiny's stream and mischaracterize my opinion. So why am I even sharing it with you?
No, see, Adam, I'll tell you exactly what I'm going to tell Destiny. That you're a wussy, and when you get confronted, you shut down and you can't articulate your positions confidently when somebody is being abrasive or aggressive with you. And so I'm telling that to you. That's not a lie.
Look,
that's my exact perception of who you are as a
That's
person.
exactly what Destiny wants to hear while you're sucking his dick, Connor.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and ask that question. He asked me, which one of his debates has he done lies of commission or omission on? And I said I couldn't think of one. Can you think of one, Adam?
What was that?
Can you think of any debates that Destiny has done where he lied by commission or omission?
I got no problems with Destiny. Destiny acted like a champ when you were on there
Hold on.
glazing him.
Hold on. So you're accusing me of lying and glazing him. No, you're accusing me of
threw us out as like a bone for him, and Destiny, like a professional, just let it go.
Wait, so you're saying that I can't have that professional assessment of you?
That I'm audience captured? Sure, you're entitled to your opinion, obviously.
Okay. So if I come on to you and you say, well, that's not my opinion, you need to watch my content. And then I say, okay, well, how about you go ahead and articulate your position so I can understand you better? And you say, whoa, buddy, you don't get to understand my position. It's too highfalutin for you. You think I'm not going to take that as dodginess and cowardice?
Connor, everybody knows that if you're accusing us of being audience captured, when you have not even listened to our content, that's ridiculous. How can you make that assessment?
See, Adam, you're ignoring a huge part of the conversation where I listened to 5 minutes of you talking specifically about your position. I asked you to
clipped out of
confirm that was your
context.
position. Clipped out of context.
Okay,
it was you.
Okay, I'm gonna stop.
Straight.
Okay, listen. I'm entering the conversation. I'm kind of really getting really fed up.
Look,
with both sides of this conversation.
Look,
okay,
I'm gonna chill, Sitch.
Okay.
I'm gonna chill.
Yeah,
Just
This is what I want. This is what I want. Okay, what I want 2 things. Okay, I want Connor. I want you to and I mean, first of all, I feel like this is a terrible time to have this conversation. But with you doing doing family stuff, but I want you to say, okay, you acknowledge that, it's probably not a great idea to accuse someone of audience capture or mischaracterize them when you're unclear about their position. And then after you acknowledge that, then I would like Adam
he left.
to...
He dipped out, so sorry. Like just as we're getting serious, we lose him.
Oh, did he leave or did he get disconnected?
I'm not sure, but he's not in the call anymore, so I just thought I'd let you know. You were on a roll, though.
Okay, I was gonna say, oh, wait, no, he's back.
Okay, he's coming back. Okay.
Yeah, I lost you.
Take a note.
Okay. Did you hear? I don't know. Did you hear what I was saying?
I heard this is what you want, or this is what you want us to do.
Okay, so I want you to do. Okay, I want you to do something. I want Adam to do something. I want you to acknowledge that it's a mistake and not a good idea to mischaracterize or to guess about someone's position to a large audience when it's unclear to you first, and then after that, I would like Adam to then explain what his current thoughts and feelings are about, the election regarding, where he feels in terms of voting for Trump or Kamala. Is that both fair? Does everyone agree to
Sure.
this position?
I can do that.
Adam, do you
So
agree to
Sure.
this?
Look,
Okay,
good.
good.
Can I go first and just
You
get
can
it
go
over?
first
No,
if you would like to.
No,
to go
Well,
first.
if I've morally aggressed in a way that you find not good, then
Disgusting is a good word for how I find
Okay,
it.
well, now I am finding you to be pusillanimous. So
That's a good one.
Yeah,
That's not even a word, but okay, go ahead.
Google pusillanimous for me.
No,
So, anyways, what I'll say is, before I had a conversation with Destiny and said that I believe that Adam was audience captured because he's failing to articulate his perspectives, and I saw a 5-minute clip where he was doing it. I should have verified that
God,
and maybe asked a few people, hey, this is my understanding of Adam's position. He won't tell me his position. So how about you go ahead and tell me what you understand most recently?
Okay,
For instance, our
come
mutual
on.
friend J-Mac.
He's not going to do it. So I'm glad I didn't go first.
No, I just did. I just used all the caveats, and I said that based off of the situation.
Okay,
I apologize
but
for my
Adam, I would.
contrition.
Okay, just so ignoring what Connor just said, which was completely not within the faith of what I wanted.
No,
look, answer,
I'm keeping the
Yes,
look.
yeah.
I'm not gonna. I don't need to answer to that. You asked a serious question, Sitch. Like,
Yes.
will he admit that it's not good to mischaracterize people's positions on a large platform? He didn't really admit that he thinks that. So that's where we're at.
That's fine. But
in a content neutral environment, I would say that's bad.
Okay, that's fine. I would anyway. So Connor, you failed to answer the question. Adam, would you like to answer the question that I asked as well in terms of where you
I'm
currently are at?
an undecided voter at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Let's mute Connor.
Sorry, there's a lot of background noise, Connor. So
I'm an undecided. As anyone who listens to the stream will know, I am currently an undecided voter. All I said was I would vote for Trump over Biden because Biden was a corpse. I had said the other day that I'm Kamala curious, that I could very easily vote for Kamala Harris or Kamala Harris. Let me pronounce it correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Or Donald Trump. I'm still looking at the two candidates. So that's where I am. That's where I've said I am. Like the last few days, we've been covering Democrats, and I mean, I consider myself center left as much as people want to mischaracterize me as right wing. I don't feel like I'm a right winger socially. I don't feel like I'm a right winger economically. I mean, we talk about MMT all the time. We talk about UBI all the time. I'm super interested in Kamala Harris's policies on building more homes. We talk on the live stream all the time about housing and how, we went through the numbers on the live stream just the other day. Kamala said she wanted to build 3 million homes, and we looked up on Zillow. We're short 4.5 million homes. So if I'm going to vote based on policy, I'm going to look at the policy prescriptions of both candidates, and those are my perspectives. So
do you feel like you're leaning one way or the other more or so or less, or is it just you're still pretty 50-50?
I don't think we've seen enough of Kamala to really know. I don't like the identity politics stuff. We covered the speeches of the Obamas on stream. I thought Obama was really good because I basically have the moral intuitions of like an early aughts center left Obama civility politics type perspective. I didn't like Michelle Obama's speech because I think she kind of throws that civility politics in the trash and plays identity politics, specifically of the race and gender variety, that I don't care for. So I'm hoping we can go back to the 90s or the early aughts Obama, but it's hard to tell. We haven't seen enough of Kamala Harris to know if she's going to embrace identity politics and go more towards the Michelle Obama, or lean back into the Barack Obama and try to win this election with independence. So I guess we'll find out, right?
Yeah, I guess we will. Okay.
Is any of that unclear?
No. I mean, you could. Yeah. Oh, I'm curious. I'll mute Connor now, or I don't know if he muted himself, but
I guess I have.
Yeah.
Okay. So does that answer your question? Does that feel like
not
an
only does it
answer?
No, not only does it answer my question, but what it does is it also repeats the 5-minute clip that I sent to Adam and asked him about. So that's where, for me,
That is
if
such bullshit, Connor. You're such a fucking liar.
what
There's
are you
no way
talking
someone.
about?
Hold on. I want to hear Connor's full response because I don't even understand what you're saying, Connor. But-
Yes, it's incomprehensible.
So I see you keep using words. I don't think you know what they mean.
Why would anyone clip that out?
Because they find it insane that you would be evaluating Trump off of policy when his first election or his first campaign was an unmitigated disaster.
Now we have to.
Okay, so
track
you're
down
wait.
this
Okay,
clip.
hold on. So your position is that you disagree with looking at it from policy because you think Trump is too incompetent in his first administration or his first term shows that he was too incompetent, or you didn't like the results. Is that the argument that you're putting forward?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And then
So
hold on. There's
Okay,
a different part of this. Okay.
Yeah.
So for me, what's frustrating? Let's say that moment had happened and it had played out exactly. We all have unlimited time to watch each other's content and understand each other. So let's say I watch that 5-minute clip and I go to Adam and I say, "Hey, I disagree with you because I think Trump is incompetent. So it doesn't necessarily matter what his policies are. Also, I think there's these 2 or 3 additional things that Trump has done that basically make him non-viable for office for me." As a matter of fact, I heard another clip, which I doubt you'll claim is out of context, where Sitch says, the only way that I'm voting for, the only way I'm voting for Trump is if they appoint pedophile Satanist alien freaks who sacrifice babies or something like that. There was a clip to that effect. But the Democrats have not won your vote, right? That's a clip that I heard.
Mhm.
So I was originally, because I felt like memeing, I was originally going to be rude to Sitch, and I was going to say, the moral choice is obvious. You're choosing between the lesser of 2 evils. The Democrats are obviously the lesser of 2 evils. That's what I was going to say maybe 60 days ago. Hold on, I'll be done in a second. But what happened was Kamala opened her mouth and started talking about some policy, and they're policies that I find so egregious that I can't sign up for them.
Okay, so I
we
guess
we all could have resolved this without
Right.
the accusations of lying.
Okay, I agree. But there's a couple issues here. Number one, I guess I'm confused because even if you disagree with it's weird because you're saying that you kind of disagree with Adam's position about the policy, even though you sort of agree with it because you just said, you thought there's no way you wouldn't vote against Trump, and now you're saying, well, it depends because she's put out policies that you don't want to vote for. So I'm kind of confused because number one, it seems like you have a very similar position, and then number two, even if you disagree with the notion that you should vote for or against Trump based on policy, I mean, I don't see how that's remotely audience captured. You just have a disagreement on how to look at the election.
Okay, because I would think that a liberal, somebody who cares about individual freedom and the republic continuing in perpetuity, would be more concerned about the things that I think disqualify Trump.
Right, but it's just what you said. So for example, if Kamala Harris comes out, I don't think this is likely, but if she comes out during her speech tonight and starts talking about how we need to put critical race theory in every school across America or something, right? I mean, would that not influence your position on the election?
No, not only would it, but also on top of that, I would have way more latitude for Adam, where I would say, you guys talk about CRT DEI being the way that leftists infiltrate institutions.
Mhm.
She's basically talking about exactly what you fear the entire time. Therefore, I don't expect you to vote for it, obviously.
Okay, so then doesn't it make sense for Adam to say that he wants to wait to hear more about what the policies are from both candidates before making a decision?
That part of it is fine. And by the way, there's reasons why you could say, I don't care, I'm going to vote for Trump anyway. So for instance, Phil and I had this conversation where he said, hey, I disagree with all the things that you're bringing up about Trump. But one, I don't think they were existential threats to the republic. And two, I think our institutions are strong enough to check him in his second term. So if I asked Adam 6, 7, 8, 9 times what his policy positions are, and he says, hey, Like I'm considering Trump because I think our institutions are strong enough to check him. And on top of that, I align with him on this, this, and this. I would have been like, okay, sweet, awesome. I understand your perspective now. But when I get evasiveness on Twitter for 2 or 3 months, and then I get evasiveness in the conversation in which I'm calling, it feels evasive.
You're the one being evasive. I answered.
What?
You didn't answer.
What did I not answer?
Sitch?
Well, when the original question, which is, I mean, I don't know about whatever your guys' Twitter interaction was.
I'll say in a vacuum, talking about somebody else's positions that you don't understand is bad.
Okay, but that's the issue. I don't know what kind of Twitter interaction.
I don't agree that it's in a vacuum.
Okay,
I don't agree that it's in a vacuum.
Hold on. I don't know what kind of Twitter interaction was going on back and forth between you guys. I think you would acknowledge that Twitter is, infamously a terrible place for people's opinions to be accurately portrayed or to have the conversation. I think you even said that. That's why you wanted to come on, is because you knew that. And so I would just say in the future, like, I think it'd be better. That we've had you on before. We've talked to you before, never had like an issue about it. You can just be like, oh, some kind of disagreement here. I'm not sure I understand what your opinion is. Why don't I just come on and talk to you about it?
But see, here's the thing. I'm not like gonna beg for an audience from His Highness Adam, right? So
I'm not asking you to beg. You could have just done the exact same thing you did where you're like, oh, well, you just sent me a DM. You're like, oh, I want to come on and like talk to you guys. And I was like, sure, that's not begging.
Okay, but here's the thing, Sitch. Adam was evasive on Twitter and evasive today to the point of frustration, where it does
I was not being evasive. I answered the question. You didn't. You were being evasive.
You took 35 minutes to answer the question.
You still have not answered the question.
I answered the question 2 or 3 times now, Adam. I think your verbal comprehension is off. Sitch,
you understand? Did I
answer the question? Hold on. Did I answer the question whether or not talking about somebody else's positions on a large platform to thousands of people without knowing their position is bad? Did I answer that question once or twice, Sitch?
You didn't say that it was evil and that you should never do it and that you will never do it again.
Wait, hold on. But did I say it was bad and wrong?
You said you just said recently just now in a vacuum. You said in a vacuum, so you had a little caveat.
In a vacuum,
but
you caveated exactly. You caveated.
Oh no, but hold on. Can you caveat when you're answering a question? Is that being evasive, Adam?
It's
wrong, wait,
Connor.
Hold on.
Wait,
wrong.
Actually,
hold on. Oh no, wait, stop. Because you're both literally doing the same thing. To answer your question, yes, Connor, it is emotionally evasive. This is the issue. Neither you nor Adam is actually being evasive. You're both just angry at each other, and you just don't want to.
I'm not angry. I'm not angry.
You're both just angry at each other. You don't want to give each other some kind of win here. That's all that's happening.
There's
no evasion going on. It's just people being angry at each other and being like, I'm not going to give this person what they want. That's all that's happening in this conversation.
And I'm having a combo.
Sitch, now you're being dishonest. I can't believe you would say that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just saying that's actually what's happening. So
look, I don't
know why.
Can we just get? Connor, I just want you to say that it is wrong to misrepresent people, whether you do it intentionally or not. Like, it is wrong.
Sure. I think it's wrong to misrepresent people.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Okay, I already said that twice.
Okay.
Oh, you promise never to do it again?
No. Oh, okay. How about I promise? Hold on, Adam. I promise.
All right, that's okay.
I promise.
Don't worry.
No, Adam. I'll make a promise. I promise not to misrepresent you in the future. If you promise, when I ask you what your position is, you answer me.
Look, we've had this problem. We have this problem with Pisco. We have this problem with Sitch, or not Sitch, obviously. We have this problem with Hutch. They literally are incapable of understanding our position without misrepresenting it. I think you were probably in that camp.
Do you think I had any problems understanding what Adam has said for the past 35 minutes?
I do a little bit because as I said, I didn't understand.
What am I missing? What am I missing?
Because why I said I didn't understand because when he explained his position and you seemed to said you had a problem with it, but then your position seemed to be the exact same as his position. So
but it's not the exact same, and I've already said why. So it's not the exact same because Trump has done things that are disqualifying for office.
In your opinion.
Okay, wait, hold on. So you're saying that the difference between your position and Adam's position is that you're saying that you're under no condition would be willing to vote for Trump, but you wouldn't necessarily vote for Harris, where Adam's position, even though it's based on this policy that you're talking about, since he would potentially possibly vote for Trump, the position's different.
Okay. What would be qualifying for Trump is if the voter fraud was validated. That's what would be called qualifying for Trump. That is the sole condition under which I would consider a Trump vote.
So, but you would consider a Trump vote. Look at this. Oh my goodness.
What do you think? Adam, what do you think is the probability of that happening?
Look, it's ironic that
No,
Sitch
answer that
pointed out
question.
your position is exactly the same as mine.
What is the probability of Trump being vindicated in the
Look,
voter fraud?
you're cutting in and out, so it's impossible to have this conversation. I heard like every other word. So, but look, I want to continue down the Sitch. What were you talking about?
Well, no, I just.
What, Adam? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
We can hear you now. Yes.
Okay, Adam. What is the probability that Trump is going to be vindicated in the voter fraud allegations?
I have no idea.
Okay, my answer is 0.00001% based off of all available information.
Okay, so my characterization of your argument was I correct when I said that the difference between your guys' opinion is that you're saying that you would never vote for Trump or almost never vote for Trump, but based on Harris's policies, you would just not vote for her potentially. And the only difference is Adam is saying based on Harris's policies, he might potentially vote for Trump. That's the difference, right?
Yeah. Okay. But Sitch, the crux of this, the reason why this is mentally offensive to me is because Adam is saying that he's a liberal. He's a center-left MMT, West Coast, Los Angeles, pot smoking, loves the gays, liberal bro, right? And there are half a dozen to a dozen things that I can think of that Trump has done or said in the past decade that should make him completely unpalatable to a person like that.
Yeah, but if Adam, like, let me ask, like, hypothetically, if Adam said that he wouldn't potentially vote for Trump, but he would just not vote for Harris, would you have the same feeling, or would you say that's different?
No, if he was saying like, listen, I can't vote for Trump. I think he lied about the elections. He's inhumane to immigrants. He talks about screwing over Ukraine all the time. He tried to steal the election. January 6th was abhorrent. Therefore, based off of those reasons, as a liberal, I can't consider Trump as a person. However, based off of Harris, she's doing all the CRT, DEI woke bullshit. That is the leftist shit that I've been complaining about for a decade. Therefore, I can't in good conscience vote for a Democrat. That would make perfect sense to me.
Okay. Because I mean, I don't know. It's interesting because number one, it's interesting that there's all this emotion for Adam who lives in California, so his vote doesn't even matter. But so that's kind of interesting.
Ridiculous.
But then number two, I don't know, because like for me, it seems like there's such a little emotional, moral consideration between the I'm not going to vote because I don't like either of them versus, well, I like one person slightly, I think one person's slightly worse than the other person, so I'm going to vote for them. It just doesn't seem like it's some massively different.
Yeah, there's a moral gulf.
Okay.
And the moral gulf comes from Trump's tweet in 2022, in which he said that because of the revealed massive fraud in election, even potentially the Constitution should be suspended.
Right.
Anyone who cares about like republicanism or the rule of law, that should be abhorrent. You're talking about the system of government under which we all exist peacefully, and he's talking about ending it based off of either delusion or a lie.
Okay. I mean, listen, I said I wouldn't vote for Trump on principle unless Kamala Harris was like found to be eating babies or something.
Adam,
right?
Is that morally offensive to you?
I was checking my email.
Okay. So when Trump says that because of the massive voter fraud, he is willing to suspend the Constitution of the United States of America, is that morally offensive to you?
Yes, of course, obviously. Yes.
Trump. What about Trump is allowing you to look past that repulsion?
Look, there's morally offensive things going on both sides, in both camps. Look, I listened to Michelle Obama's speech, and the identity politics drives me crazy.
Okay, so I'm not asking you to vote Democrat. What I'm asking you is to,
why do so many people care? Why is it so essential who I vote for? Like it's kind of becoming, it's kind of becoming Look, but this is more about why are you going on Destiny's stream lying about us or systemically lying about us or just talking shit when you have no idea what we think or feel.
Yeah,
Like,
you know what I find pusillanimous about that is the fact that I ask you what you think and feel 8 times.
why am I required to have a personal conversation with you about how I think and feel?
You're not required. I just find it pusillanimous.
Okay.
Okay, but Connor, you
Which
understand?
is a word, by the way.
I know. Do you agree? I would at least hope you'd agree that this has nothing to do with being evasive. It's being angry. It's the same. You and Adam are both just angry at each other. You understand that,
Well,
right?
okay,
That's what is the framework of this conversation.
Thank you for pointing. Thank you for pointing that out, Sitch. Yes, because
well, no, because I'm just because you keep going, and this happens a lot, and I get it. When you have because it's interesting. Listen. Let me try to be the peacemaker here, at least as much as possible. Okay, we all know it's very possible for situations on Twitter for words and text to get misinterpreted, and it leads to people freaking out on each other,
even on live streams,
super angry, and on live streams, yes, of course. Right. Okay,
this
so
is like the third one that I found.
It's gas pills.
That's one of the third ones I found before.
Okay.
Oh my God. I feel horrible, Sitch. This is happening right now.
Well, we could have done it at 3, but Adam had a show, so he was busy. So anyways.
That's the perfect example, because I told you that we stream from 2 to 4, and in my mind that meant you would be ready at 2, and you said yes. I didn't know that you interpret that like as jump in whenever.
Yeah,
well, yeah, and also that was
exactly. So that's all I'm just trying to say is that. So let's not like go back and be like, oh, you're being evasive or you're being cowardly, or you're both angry at each other. We can try to address.
I'm not angry. Stop saying that. Okay.
Okay, I am angry.
Look, and
Connor's angry and you're no longer angry.
Connor blamed me for what was Sitch's fault.
There you go. Okay. It was my fault. It was entirely my fault.
Why am I always the guy that's getting the blame?
I don't know.
Because you're my whipping boy now.
You're the fall guy, right? Because everyone loves.
Okay.
But so I guess I don't even know where we are in the conversation anymore.
It's okay. I have to wrap up in a second anyways.
Okay.
Good.
So,
all right.
So
cool.
Yeah. Okay. Well, because you said it with that tone, which annoys me, I'm going to go ahead and make a point. You said I'm lying and being dishonest. I'm not. I'm saying exactly what I think to everybody, exactly as I think it. And then
it can be wrong and
evasive. Okay, it
look,
can be wrong.
It still can be wrong, and it is a lie. It's a systemic lie. You're spreading misinformation.
That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
Well, the fact that you don't even really think that this is a bad thing is, I mean,
wait.
It's immoral. Hold on. It's totally immoral. What you're doing is wrong, and the fact that you don't accept that it's wrong is part of the problem.
Wait, hold on. What did I say earlier? You just said that I didn't think that it was bad. What did I say earlier? Maybe 3 or 4 times now?
We go out of our way to make sure that we do not misrepresent other content creators.
You're evading the question. What did I say?
What is your question?
Times?
Yeah, you said you said that it was wrong.
I'm tracking the conversation.
You said that it was wrong, and where we're at is that I don't actually believe you because you're making all of these caveats that, oh well, if it's unintentional, then it's not wrong. If I go on a stream and I completely misrepresent your positions, but I don't know, I think those are your positions, then it's not wrong. That's fine.
Adam,
that's okay.
You know what's funny is I didn't misrepresent your positions at all. I said
that you said we were audience captured, you fucking liar.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. What part of audience captured means that I don't understand your position?
Hold on. Let me get this straight here. You're taking money from the Democratic Party.
Wait. No.
We are not. But we are audience captured, and you are not audience captured.
Let me interject.
What do you think?
Okay.
And by the way, no, that's not even what audience captured means.
All the work has been done. Okay, hold on.
It's just a matter of time, Sitch.
I know. Wait. Okay. I thought you agreed, Connor, that even if you disagree with Adam's view of the world, how is it audience captured? His position to say that he based on a policy prescription.
Let's live in the multiverse for a second.
Yeah.
Let's say that there's a multiverse where Adam did not get into streaming. You guys talked a few times. The podcast fell through. Adam just exists as a cartoon bro in Los Angeles. He has no exterior social influences besides his normal social media.
But he has the exact same positions that he has now, right? That'd be the only way that this hypothetical would make sense.
Sure.
Okay.
So he has the exact same positions. I don't think that anyone who claims to be like a liberal, somebody who cares about personal liberty and the republic and perpetuating those values into the future, I don't think you can just hand wave away the 2 or 3 things about Trump that I'm thinking of and just say, oh, well, everybody does bad stuff. That doesn't make sense to me at all.
Well, this is okay. There's a level of irony to this conversation that's so bizarre, because this is like the mirror conversation that you just had where Pisco and Lonerbox were yelling at you because you were saying that you couldn't vote for Kamala because of, Second Amendment stuff. So it's weird that you're basically having that exact conversation now where you're just on the other side of it attacking Adam here. But even a weirder way, because with this audience capture claim, which again, as I said, when you made that comment, like the previous day, me and Adam were talking about Kamala Harris's economic policies, and he was talking, even though she said it was the same day that she said the crazy price gouging shit, which we were talking about is like putting price caps on things is retarded. But the same day, we were both saying, oh, well, she's doing some good economic policy, or talking about building houses and other things. And Adam was suggesting like that he thought that that the building houses was good. We were even having a conversation about whether having a public wait, hold on, let me just finish. I'm almost done. Okay. We were having a conversation about how whether it would make sense to have a government run grocery store, and I was saying I thought it seemed like silly, and Adam was saying that he didn't think it seemed silly just on principle, and people in the chat, the right-wing people in the chat, didn't like that. So it's just, that's why it seems like totally crazy to me, this concept that Adam is audience captured, because every day we're both saying things that wouldn't even make sense in the framework of claiming to be audience capture. He would just be like, oh, I'm, Donald Trump all the way, rah, 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 rah.
Okay. So if you want, I'm trying to, I was going to articulate a difference between the two, but I'm not even sure if it matters. So hold on, I'll still articulate it anyways, and then we'll kind of wrap up. So when it comes to the difference between the Pisco and the Loner Box attacking me for being very very pro Second Amendment or whatever, this has been a foundational part of my character since I started talking about politics. I think some of my first videos were about red flag laws. I think my first videos were about the Second Amendment and the balance of power between civilians and the state. Okay, so just because they haven't heard it and they don't know it because they're in their little hug box or whatever, doesn't mean that they've caught me in some kind of wild hypocrisy. It means that they just don't know my position. So when they ask my position, I tell them my position, and I do so earnestly. And when they get upset, I don't care, because it's my position that I feel is pretty well backed through like logic and research. So my beef, and Adam doesn't have to care. As a matter of fact, I barring like a 6-month cooling down period, I think this will probably be the last time that Adam and I talk. But the fact that I bring up, hey, I'm seeing your values, your espoused values, and I'm seeing your statements and your commentary, and I think there's a conflict here. Can you please explain it to me? And then he just dodges for 6 months now.
Stop saying I'm dodging. Stop saying you're so dishonest. You're so dishonest.
No. Sitch, I do not want you to jump in. How is that dishonest?
Because you have already conceded that the right forum for something like this is a conversation, not back and forth on Twitter. You've already conceded that.
I left you alone on 6 months for Twitter until you annoyed the fuck out of me so much I finally had to have the conversation.
But do you understand how what you're saying is dishonest?
No, I don't. Please explain it to me.
I just did. I just said.
How?
You're asking for explanations on Twitter.
Wait.
And you're claiming that those are dodges.
Do you think that
6 months? This whole Biden dropping out thing hasn't been going on for 6 months. What was going on?
This was before the Biden dropout. It was probably 3 months or 4 months. Okay, excuse my misspeak.
I'm just confused
accurate either,
because it was the debate. There was the debate.
I don't care about
brought up the whole. No. I'm just saying. I'm confused because it sounds like maybe you had some issue with that even predates any of this Biden stuff. Because it's really when we watched the debate that's when this all this stuff blew up and we.
I don't care. I thought Biden had. I basically argued with Wick about Biden should drop out because it was so bad.
Right.
So, anyways, the point is that this is the behavior. Okay, eliminate the chronology. Let's just look at the behavior.
Okay.
Hey, we're peers. We're parallel content creators in the Twitch and YouTube space. We probably have 30 to 70% alignment on our policies 90% of the time. Hey, these are your espoused principles. This is a statement that I think is conflicting. Can you explain it to me? And then basically, no offense, Adam, actually some offense meant, you dodge on Twitter, and then I come here just to ask you.
Oh my God, you're so dishonest.
Just to ask you, what?
You're so dishonest.
You don't even know what dishonest means.
Yeah, I do.
What does honest mean?
You framing me not wanting to be misrepresented on Twitter as a dodge is dishonest. Dishonest as fuck.
I want a qualifying question.
How am I supposed to read? No, Sitch, I don't want an interruption here because we should wrap it up. Adam, if I ask you for 35 minutes at the beginning of this conversation what your pitches are, and then you don't answer me, how am I supposed to construe that as anything besides evasive? We came here to have the conversation, and you are avoiding the conversation.
I am not avoiding any conversation.
Because
you were trying to characterize me as dishonest and evasive.
How can I characterize you by asking a question?
Every time you say you dodge, you're trying to characterize me as evasive, which I am not.
You were literally definitionally evasive for the first 30 minutes of this conversation. If you look up evasive and then you read the words, that is how you were acting in the beginning of the conversation. That's not dishonest, you moron. You literally don't know what words mean.
It is dishonest because
I'm not
remotely
evasive.
And
then I have one question. Then if you can go if you need to, which is just that. And this is why I asked about the chronology of this, which is important. This, when you were asking Adam that you want him to clarify his position, all this stuff, was this in the thread or around that thread where Pisco put up a bunch of clips and then like attacked Adam like super weirdly, dishonestly, and publicly? And that in that thread or around that is when you're asking him to clarify his position?
Yes, it is. And if I remember correctly, hold on.
Right, yeah.
Sorry. You go ahead. You might say what I'm about to say.
Well, no, I was just going to say, okay, so you understand. The reason that Adam didn't want to, I would guess, address, you or some of the people in that thread is because it's like you have Pisco comes out with this like crazy, massively weird, dishonest, kind of backstabby attack on Adam. And then, it's like, okay, well, I'm just going to go into like not, interacting with these people and anyone that I believe sort of in this circle. Right. And I don't think that's such an unreasonable perception of events.
Okay. And what I would say to that is that I asked Adam, I pressed him once or twice. Then I looked at the thread and I saw that Hutch and Pisco were being freaks. And so I said, you know what? Adam's probably a little defensive. He's probably a little bit heated now.
Right here, he's like,
isn't the right time.
He's describing me as defensive and heated, which are complete lies. Again, Connor being as dishonest as he possibly can.
Do you think that being defensive and heated are moral
I wasn't
indictments?
heated. I was probably mowing my fucking lawn. Okay. I don't give a fuck about these morons on Twitter.
Adam,
I'm not angry.
Answer my
question. I don't care.
Do you think being defensive or heated is some kind of moral indictment?
Yes. You're trying to say all these people. You're trying to create this narrative that Adam was completely demoralized by this fucking stupid thread that Pisco did.
When did I say that?
When I don't get.
When have I
literally.
Ever said that?
You're doing right now. 5 seconds ago, Sitch. Am I losing my mind here, Sitch? Look, he's gaslighting me right here. You're witnessing this, Sitch.
Defensive.
Yes, exactly. Defensive. No.
What
I don't care about this stuff.
Means?
Sitch.
Okay.
Well, I can't take this gaslighting.
No. Adam,
I really can't.
Adam, answer for me. What do you think defensive means?
It means that you are in a defensive posture, that you actually care what these people think, that you're worried about your reputation these people are destroying. That's what it means.
No,
that's you, Connor. Connor, that's you.
You just added so much to it. No, it's okay. You know what? I've been dancing in Twitch and YouTube politics for a really long time. I just realized that people don't even know what words are. They just don't understand what the connotations of words are.
Look,
I get it. This
is a confession by you by projection. Everything that you do, you're trying to place on me. Your audience captured by the DNC. You're literally making money by the DNC. You are defensive. You are worried about your reputation on Twitter. Everything that you're accusing me of, you are doing. Okay? I am just fine.
Gay. You couldn't do that. Is so gay. That was like no you. You don't even have like.
I mean,
if-
but
if
it's
you
honest.
believe
I think,
that-
look, people
No,
can
if
listen
you
to the
believe
stream.
that-
People
if
can
you
judge for
believe that,
themselves.
You should be able to articulate how, but I don't think you're capable of it.
Well, I think I have articulated how, though. I think I
Okay,
have very clearly.
Okay, I think you have a tenuous grasp on the English language, so
Okay,
I'm good.
okay.
So yeah, so all right. Anyways, it was fun. I'll see you in 6 months, I guess.
Okay.
Well, no, look, Connor, if you don't want to have interactions like this, just don't go lying about us on the internet, okay? We'll do the same.
Adam, I didn't lie. And how about if you don't want me to mischaracterize your position when I ask you what your position is, you don't spend 30 minutes pussy aching about it. How about that?
You're going to misrepresent my position if I make it crystal clear. I'm certain of that.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Well,
I'm not Pisco.
again, I mean,
I'm not Hutch.
Okay. I mean, you're
I represent reality
mis-
as best I can, as best as I understand it. So for you to say that is just factually wrong.
The fact that you say the best I understand it is you caveating. You basically saying, oh, if I don't understand it correctly and I spread misinformation about you, oh, that's not my fault. Look, I couldn't help myself.
Can you tell me the misinformation that I'm spreading?
That we're audience captured. That's what the whole fucking stream is about.
I think, Adam, I will say to your face
Sitch,
right now.
What's going on here?
Right now. Adam, I will say to your face right now, not talking to some third party. I think that the Adam who is a normie wagey, who doesn't have an audience, would talk differently than the way that you talk right now, because you have subconscious perceptions from your audience.
You are completely incorrect.
I mean, I think, wait, if your I think there's a big problem here, which is that if your definition of audience capture includes some level of uncontrolled, unconscious bias, number one, I don't think that's a good definition, because obviously everyone has unconscious bias. Wait, and number two, I think the bigger problem is that even if you believe that, when you say audience capture, that's not anyone else's definition. Everyone else's definition is this person is a grifter who is saying things intentionally to placate their audience.
Okay, so let me
intentionally
ask you this
dishonest.
Let me ask you this question. Do you think Tim Pool is audience captured?
Look,
yes.
Why are we?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I, based off of my limited interactions, talking with Phil, talking with Lauren, talking with other people or whatever, is that Tim, I agree he's audience captured. I think he sincerely believes 99% of the shit he says.
Okay, well
but he's trapped. But he's trapped.
I understand what you're saying.
Because he's not a person anymore. This is what I said during the conversation as well. He's not a person anymore who is capable of individual thought. He is an ideological tribal leader. And he knows that if he strays too far off the path, he's going to pay a high price.
Yeah, but when you say, okay, well, here's the problem. When you say he knows, that implies a level of consciousness. Are you talking about he knows subconsciously this?
It could be both. But I wouldn't call him necessarily a liar. Liar involves like actively committing to something that is not true.
I do agree. Well, first of all, I mean, I don't really want to go into using Tim as an example, and I've criticized Tim plenty on this show. Okay.
Well, and also he's doing it to compare me to Tim Pool, just so you know that. Sitch.
I understand. I do agree that definitely people, especially in this space and pundit space, it's very easy for people to kind of be surrounded by particular opinions and an audience, and it draws people down a pathway that they can start to believe things, right? And I think that, and I think I agree with P.F. Young. I think that's kind of what happened to Jordan Peterson. But I wouldn't call Jordan Peterson audience captured. And if you want to use a definition of audience capture, because I have a different because I think I have a different definition of audience capture that lines up with almost everyone else's definition, which is this intentional lying, this intentional grift. And I would just say that if you have a different definition, I would be super careful or not use that word, because no one knows what you're talking about. You're talking about something that's a far more complicated, far different idea. And so when you throw it out there and say, I think someone's audience captured, everyone that's listening is going to think you're calling that person an intentional liar. They're not going to think that, this very complicated thing that you're talking about.
Okay. So here's the thing. If hold on. Audience capture is defined, looking it up, is a self-reinforcing feedback loop that involves telling one's audience what they want to hear and getting rewarded for it.
Right.
Okay. I can understand reading in a level of intentionality, but nowhere in that definition does it have a level of intentionality. And on top of that, I almost guarantee
it's not like an
you.
official definition from Eric Weinstein, but that you just read from. But okay,
I mean, it might literally be from Eric Weinstein. It's
it
all
is. It's from
guts, Eric Weinstein.
it's from his Wikipedia.
Okay,
So-
well, I mean, he's a smart guy.
He is. He's smart,
But he's not the be all and
But I'm
end
just
all
saying
to
it's
the
not like
definition of audience.
it's not
capture.
Yes, he
yeah,
is.
it's not like it's not an official source of how
Okay.
people perceive the word. But anyway, continue.
Well, okay. So all I was going to say was, I think that this is just reality to me. When you're going live, you could talk about, I don't know, some congressional bill that's come out that actually stands it's probably not going to pass, but there's like an 80% chance that it could, and it's actually relevant to your stuff. You could talk about that, right? You could watch C-SPAN. And that could be interesting on a personal level. But you know that's going to be boring as fuck for your audience, right? And you're going to lose 70% of your viewership. So then what you do is subconsciously, not intentionally, not because you're malicious or you're evil or whatever, you focus on things that you know that your audience is going to enjoy, and that lines up with your ideological tribe. Okay? So what I would say is there is an ideological tribe of centrists, right? People who have independent thoughts, who like to think critically, who like to analyze all perspectives, and that you guys are probably top 5 creators in the centrist sphere. It's a small space, but it's a real space, right? And so what I would say is in that space, there's a reflexive contrarianism that happens when you don't want to go with the.
This is painful,
don't want to go.
Sitch. This
Why?
is
Because
painful.
it's true?
Now he's calling us contrarians.
What's
Like,
the-
not
what-
only
what-
that,
I didn't even
what a
mention your name
dipshit.
yet.
I want to hear.
I'm getting ready to boot this dipshit.
I want to
Go
hear
ahead,
the
Adam,
full
pussy.
reflexively contrarian argument before though.
Okay.
I'm just
So-
curious to the end
so-
of the train.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
So what I would say is there are people who are in the Trump camp who don't actually
Mhm.
think Trump is good. They just don't
Right.
trust the mainstream at all.
That
And
does
so-
not describe us in any way, shape, or form. You idiot.
Have I mentioned your name yet? You
Why
fucking
are you
moron?
bringing this up?
What does this have to do with us?
Because I'm
I guess,
describing the dynamics
Look,
of the space,
backpedal.
you
Now he's
fucking
now he's
retard.
backpedaling.
Okay. So
I
this
just
doesn't
too
describe
soon.
us.
No, Adam. See, I want to illustrate before you boot me. I want to illustrate how big of a moron you are. Can
You
you
are the
articulate?
moron, okay?
No, can you
Our entire
articulate-
audience
no,
is
you use the
laughing at
word.
how out of touch you are.
Yeah. So but they might be morons as well. So Adam, you said the word backpedal. I'm going to show that you don't know words. Can you tell me the original position
backpedal.
that I had? Can you say the original position I had in the position that I backpedaled to? Can you articulate them?
The backpedal position. The
Yeah.
original position was you were trying to make it out like we were reflexively contrarian. And the backpedal position is, oh, I'm not talking about you guys. I'm just making a wider statement about
Anybody with ears.
other people that are
Anybody with
reflexively
ears.
contrarian. That's the
Anybody with
backpedal.
Anybody with ears can rewind what we just listened to.
Yeah, and they'll
see that
hear you say
inferred-
exactly what I laid out.
No,
Wait.
they won't.
You
No, they
said
won't.
okay. Wait, hold on.
Because
You-
I
you
never invoked you or Sitch while I was describing the
Wait.
scenario.
Okay, wait. You literally did. Okay, and maybe you did by accident, but you literally did because you said there's a space of creators, of centrist creators, and you said you guys are in the
included us
top
in it.
5, and then you immediately said that are reflexively contrarian.
Contrarian.
So you did
Okay.
imply that it was that
So-
we were in that camp.
Okay, no. So I was trying to talk about the audience being reflexively contrarian.
Here comes more
Where there's-
backpedaling.
Oh, okay, wait,
more
wait,
backpedaling.
hold on.
The words
Hold on,
that I
let's-
don't
clarification
understand.
is not a
Backpedal, backpedal,
I
backpedal.
will
not a
we'll
backpedal.
grant charity here. Okay, so you're saying that you're saying our audience is reflexively contrarian, or
Yeah, I'm
potentially
saying that
reflexively contrarian.
there is a large part of
Yeah.
centrist, the centrist audience and
Okay.
middle of the road free thinkers or whatever who are
Right.
reflexively contrarian. And so as an example, I can think of Brett and Eric Weinstein. I can cite them as being reflexively contrarian, where they consider all sorts of shit that's outside of the mental norms because they don't want to go with the mainstream. 100%. You could cite this with Joe Rogan. You could cite this with almost every
Mhm.
major creator that's large in our space. They oftentimes consider ideas that are way outside of the norm, and on top of that, play into the biases of people who just want to think that the mainstream is evil.
Yeah, listen, I agree 100%. I'm not without not necessarily those specific people. Well, I don't watch enough of them to make that judgment, but I do agree that there is a thing that happens where people say, okay, the mainstream lied about X or XYZ, and therefore there's this reflexively contrarian attitude to completely dismiss all of it. I think that we go out of our way, like way substantially, to avoid that completely.
Of course, yeah.
So
and we keep each other honest. Sitch and I
Right.
both do. Yeah.
I mean, and it's, I guess, because I feel like you're more in that reflexively contrarian space than we are, considering the Twitter files conversation we had.
Okay. And by the way, I would probably just say, yeah, oftentimes I do consider things that are outside of the mainstream because I think the mainstream can be hegemonic.
Well, no.
So-
There's nothing wrong with considering things outside the mainstream. The bad negative aspect of that would be to just automatically assume that anything comes out of the mainstream is wrong and anything that comes out of independent space is automatically correct. That would be the reflexively contrarian negative quality.
I think you would have to bring up like more of me doing that than just one for it to be.
Well, I'm just
a huge
basing
pattern.
it on. Well, I haven't watched a lot of your content. I'm just basing it off of our very long conversation about the Twitter files. But
Okay. So, okay. Sorry, let me just try to drag us back to a point. So
we were wrapping up actually. So
that's fine. Yeah, so that's fine. So I'll have 10 seconds for you. Then what I would say is, from my perspective, the voting for Trump, the only way that you can get there is like and be like a centrist or a liberal is to be contrarian to the mainstream, to think that the mainstream is like evil, wrong, et cetera, et cetera.
So you don't think liberals can vote for Trump? You think nobody who votes for Trump can call themselves a liberal?
Yeah, actually, yeah. So,
okay.
So Adam, and I'll articulate this.
Interesting.
So I'll articulate this. If you see someone either be delusional or lie about massive voter fraud to the point of suspending the Constitution, anyone who cares about individual freedom or a republic should view that as disqualifying for office.
Okay, so
it should
they
be contrary
have to
to
share
your foundational principles.
They have to share your opinion, or they can't call themselves a liberal.
No, that's not what I said. I said
that
it
is
should
what
be
you're
contrary. Saying. No, I'm saying it should be contrary to their philosophical principles. Ending the republic,
but that is the part. That is the part that's
Adam,
your opinion.
Adam, this is a part where, again, I have to insist that you're a moron. Okay,
mm-hmm.
So if you end the republic based off of a delusion or a lie that is contrary to liberalism as a philosophy, yes or no?
I wasn't paying attention. I thought we were wrapping up. I
no,
thought you were giving
okay.
your wrap-up spiel.
I'll repeat it for
you. Do you need to say anything like,
Adam,
this was paid for by Brianna Wu and the DNC before you go?
Adam, I know you don't want to answer this question because it would actually force
We're not
you to
allowed to have, paid sponsors on the channel without, notifying our audience.
I would love for you to answer this question because it should be so simple for you. Does ending the republic based off of a delusion or a lie, you could throw it in a vacuum. You don't even have to agree that Trump did it. So throw it into a vacuum. Does ending a republic
based off of a delusion or a
lie, is that contrary to the philosophy of liberalism?
Is going on Destiny's live stream and saying lies based off of your own delusion, is that contrary to the principle, your principles, your personal principles?
Don't dodge. Answer the question. Is ending a republic based off of a delusion or a lie contrary to liberal philosophy?
Well, that would depend upon how you define liberal philosophy.
The way that anybody understands it, that you care about the individual rights and freedoms of people.
Well, I mean, it is a complicated question. So that's why we have these long live streams and talk about this.
Is it complicated, Adam, or are you a midwit?
This was great. Thanks for coming on, Connor. Do you need to do this was a paid sponsorship before you leave, or?
No, I don't.
You're not going to get in trouble?
Insist one more time that I respect Sitch because I feel like he's doing it, and I think you're a brain dead moron, and I don't think you understand words.
The feeling feeling is mutual. So
yeah, but incorrect.
Wow!
Thank goodness.
Okay, that was
finally.
That was a fun conversation. Okay. I guess let's read some super chats. Is there anything?
I know.
Let me think how to wrap this up. It is interesting. I don't the audience capture thing, which kind of started the whole thing, doesn't make any sense to me.
It doesn't. It doesn't. No, it's just a smear.
It's very weird. Again, and I guess to summarize my position on all this, I think Connor has a very weird definition of audience capture
that
is
no one
not
has.
that
Yeah.
no one else has. So when he says it, he means something. Everyone else is interpreting it in this other thing. And I don't even understand how, even by his position, I mean, there's a level of sort of mind reading to say, okay, in a hypothetical situation where you, Adam, had all the same experiences and opinions, but you didn't have a live stream, he thinks that you'd have a different position. I mean, I
That's
don't even know how
bullshit.
I don't
That's
even know how
fucking
you
such bullshit.
come to that conclusion, but okay. And you could, and it was weird because we ran down, I said earlier in the stream, like, okay, like if Kamala Harris comes out as like a cultural Marxist, I mean, obviously that would change the calculation. And Connor agrees and understands that would change the calculation. So I don't see why it's so dangerous to say, oh, I want to, wait to see what the policy prescriptions are.
It'd be tough to vote for a cultural Marxist, but there's really nothing you can do. After this live stream, Connor is going to go out and work on smearing my reputation as much as he possibly can. So that's not going to change. No matter what is said, that's not going to change. So and I'm fine with that. Like that is where it is. So, but it is what it is, right? This is the game that people play on the internet. They like to go out and mirror other people so that they can climb their way to the top.
Interesting. Okay. Anyways, thanks so much, J-Mac, our surrogate father, for the $20. Says, is there any proof that Sitch and Adam aren't audience captured? If there is any proof that Sitch and Adam aren't audience captured, is that they disagree with me, their own personal George Soros, on more than one occasion. S-class is best class, and A-team reigns supreme. Thank you. And that's actually
that is constantly true.
A very hilariously correct point. Thank you, Jay, for pointing that out. Yeah, that is true. Completely. Gay Ben, thanks so much for the $5. Gay Ben says, I see a lot of concern about audience capture, but never personality cults on YouTube. Isn't YouTube the perfect environment for personality cults? It is. Of course. It is. Yeah. Well, it's weird. There's like this weird sort of like cyclical environment where you both have someone who's audience captured, and then like the audience is part of a personality cult. It's very strange, because I would actually describe, I think, a lot of Trump and a lot of Trump exist in that kind of weird cyclical audience capture called the personality sort of feeding into each other. So that could just be like how cults kind of form in the first place.
We're never going to get through all these super.
Yeah, I know. Asha, well, do you have a heart out?
Not really. I mean, okay. I can go longer. Sure.
Right.
No problem.
Asha C, for 29 months of Discipline Equals Freedom. Thank you so much. Says, JMac is incorrect. I have audience captured Sitch and Adam with 29 months of Discipline Equals Freedom. There you go.
Oh, wow. Ostracy. That's like, I think that's a very high tier there. So thank you, Ostracy.
Thank you so much.
And look, Ostracy, we disagree with all the fucking time.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. Look, we try to cultivate an environment for disagreement. Like I said, it's just, civility politics is somehow out of vogue right now because a lot of people want to blow up their platforms, finding people out there to destroy in front of an audience, right? And look, I'm not holier than thou. Like, I like watching blood sports. I like the drama. I like seeing this stuff, right? But at the same time, that can get boring too. Sometimes it's nice to have a conversation about the actual substance of arguments, right? Which we try to foster an environment where you can do that without the audience shaming you for doing it. So that's like our whole thing. And when somebody goes on, this crazy narrative that we are audience capture, secret right wingers, or we're only talking about, right-wing talking points, it's so ridiculous. And it's only designed to make sure that we are a smaller audience, a very small competitor in the space for eyeballs and attention. And it's unfair. Look, I don't want to seem like I'm crying about it. I mean, that is the world. Everybody's out here fighting for attention. So, but that's what's going on, right?
Well, and it's interesting because it's kind of, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, because if they
not with us though.
No. What I mean is, like, if people on the left keep spreading this sort of dishonest narrative about us, they're basically preventing people from the left to watch our content.
Right.
And thus, making it so that the audience will just be, basically
right-wingers. Yeah.
Right-wingers. Right.
Yeah. And they do that. I'm so glad that you brought that up, because they come in and they say, look, their whole audience is only right wingers. That must mean they're only catering to right wingers, right? When the truth is, Destiny, a guy with 10 times our audience size, has started this fake narrative that no left wingers will even come in and give us a chance. So who is the one that's creating that entire right wing audience? It's not us.
Right. Beers and Bullshit, thanks so much for joining. Discipline equals freedom. Thank you so much.
Wow. We're getting a lot of top tier subscribers here. Thank you.
I thought outside the simulations, Tom.
Outside the simulation is top tier. I think discipline equals freedom is
like
it's second. Yeah, second.
Yes, thank you so much.
But it is expensive. That's an expensive sub. So thanks.
RBGH fan for $20 says, thank you so much. Says Sitch argues with his audience that Trump is not the lesser of two evils. I disagree, but your buddy Destiny says, F the firefighter guy that was shot at the rally, F Trump, F the people that support him, whose audience captured.
Yeah. Look, go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to say?
Well, no, it's funny because like I mean, you know, and I feel like I've was given Destiny pretty wide latitude of charity around that whole situation, because I was even saying like I think it's just that he's become so frustrated arguing about the electors scheme stuff that it's basically, you know, put him in such a negative headspace. So
yeah,
and
totally.
I didn't really hear anyone giving him that level of charity, but you know, whatever.
You were great, Sitch. You really were. Yeah.
Grendel Vivat, thank you so much for the 50 gifted memberships. Thank you, Grendel. So
wow.
much.
Welcome new members.
Yes. It's J-Mac for $20. This is before the stream started. Says Connor's a cool dude. Treat him nicely. Chat.
Oh my God.
There you go. There's us
disagreeing with our executive producer right there. Right. Oops.
Anonymous Cow for $5 says, I'm tired of these pedantic debates with wording and phrasing. None of this BS with actual justice warrior would have happened if they were steel manning every argument.
So true. Thank you so much for saying so. Yeah, exactly. You want to get to the pedantic definition of audience capture when everyone knows what you're doing, dude. You're out there to smear us. You're out there to say that we're dishonest.
Right.
Look, maybe we disagree on this. I think it was intentional. I think he went on a Destiny stream and he threw Destiny a bone. He's like, look, I hate the same people you hate, Destiny. Sitch and Adam.
I mean, I have no clue what his motivation was in that stream. I mean, maybe it's possible because he kind of, you know, he was blaming himself for fucking up the Sean conversation.
Yeah, he makes us the scapegoats for his fuck up.
Right. I mean, I don't know. It was weird. It was weird that we somehow got lumped in for no reason at all that I could perceive. And that's why I was just curious, though we didn't really get an answer. I was curious, was there some greater context to like randomly throwing our name out there? Because we had nothing to do with the conversation or really anything to do at all with it. So
I gained a little respect for Destiny back because he did let it go. He totally responded like a champ. Like he could have just leaned into, oh yeah, that's those Sitch and Adam guys. Oh yeah, they're horrible. But he didn't. He totally didn't.
Yeah, I didn't even react to it. So
he didn't. No, he let it go. He's like, that's right.
Fondue for 29 months. Thanks so much. Says, hooray, milestone. Also, Sean's mistake was talking to Destiny at all after the Supreme Court broke his brain.
Well, yeah, I agree. I'm look, and this shows, and I kind of see. Maybe I shouldn't say this because
forget it. Yeah,
I do. Look, I try to have a heart for other creators, and Connor's actually in the space. You know, obviously he's got a family. He's trying to make a living. Don't do YouTube if you're trying to make a living. Okay, get a real job. But look, I do think like Sean is a meticulous debater. To send Sean a debate prompt that is just off the cuff means you don't understand Sean. Like you don't understand the space.
Well, it was like a telephone game because I think he sent it to Lauren Southern and then Lauren Southern sent it to Sean.
Yeah. So Sean is not going to take a debate without the debate prompt being like something to his. It's all about the debate prompt, right, Sitch? Like you don't agree to a debate prompt that you're going to lose.
Yeah, obviously. But yeah, anyway, I thought that whole conversation was kind of silly the way it all played out.
Right.
Renora Zoro was here for $5. Says Actual Justice Warrior made a new video that you guys should watch for the stream. I watched it actually, where he was talking about how even though his original point about the Bragg and Letitia James were, in his opinion, running for their attorney general slot or state attorney general slot based on, going after Trump, that he made some factual mistakes in his previous video talking about that. So yeah, you got to give Sean credit for that.
Yeah, no, look, I disagree with Sean on a lot of stuff. Obviously, he's far more right wing than me, but I mean, he's always shown character and, a commitment to honesty and not screwing other people over that few people in the YouTube space show, right? You got to look for these people. Like you famously said, the politics are less important than the attitude, the character. And, that's totally true. That is true.
Mm-hmm. Jack Pasabic, thanks so much. It's actually the real, definitely, I'm sure 100% the real Jack Pasabic.
It's got his photo and everything. It's got his photo,
so it's got to be him. It says, long ago, the states lived in harmony, but then everything changed when the deep state attacked. Only a patriot could stop them. God answered our prayers and sent Trump to save America, but I believe Trump can save the world.
Nice.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, okay.
Look, if Sitch and I both don't categorically denounce you over that super chat, then liberalism is at stake. Okay.
Right. There you go.
Oh my God.
Renaro Zoro here was here for $5. Says, wait, why do we have to choose between either buckets of shit? We don't have to vote if we don't want to, especially when both choices are illiberal.
You can. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm also, kind of relishing this election, though, that it's such a Sophie's choice.
I know. And also because I remember when I told you that I wasn't voting at all, not even necessarily because of this election, but just in general, because I feel like it makes it easier for me to sort of be neutral. You have a much stronger moral intuition about wanting to vote than I do. And I think that's also, strongly coloring your desire to vote for one candidate over the other, as opposed to just saying you're not going to vote.
I do feel it's my civic duty. I was kind of raised on that. This is the thing that we do. We vote. Voting matters. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But look, I don't begrudge people who are journalists or wanting to maintain an unbiased attitude not voting. So
I know you don't.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think, you kind of lean into the I am unbiased more than me. Right. And this is one of the reasons why the centrist label just doesn't serve me as well, because I am I do have strong positions. They're obviously, I think more of them are on the left than the right. So, but I've never really gone through and done the back and forth.
Right.
Yeah.
PC for $2 says calling Kamala a bologna sandwich is a racism. I don't know what that was in reference to.
Maybe.
Question mark? Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't call it a racism.
Right. I don't know if someone said something like that in the conversation. I forgot. Fondue for $5 says, if Sitch and Adam were actually audience captured, they would have watched Arcane already. Checkmate, Connor. That's a good point. Good point. RBGH fan for $5 says, Connor, is it audience capture if one of the two people streaming doesn't tell us how awful the orange man is?
Yes, that's what audience captured is.
Ashley for $5 says, if you don't think Kamala is better than Trump, you must be audience captured. That's all this is.
True.
Yeah. It's just a weird thing because I feel like he has such a similar position. That's why it's very strange. So.
The hubris in that position that look, my opinion is the correct opinion. And if you don't have my opinion, you're a moron who's audience captured. That's basically the argument.
Right.
That is so I can't stand it. Show some fucking humility.
Lives in Deswall specifically for $5 says, I'm learning I misunderstood what audience capture was. I now have some excessive zip ties if anyone is in the market for some. There you go.
Uh-oh.
Terrible. Yeah. I'm going to tell Dev to watch out. Gay Ben for $2 says, Connor is baiting you on Trump for his daddy destiny.
True. Wow. Yeah, true. I didn't take the bait though.
I mean, I'm going to be right. I don't think that's what Connor was doing.
I do. I 100% agree with Gay Ben. So, but go ahead.
I think Connor just has a very unique perspective that puts him in a weird position.
I completely disagree. I think Connor is in the Destiny Orbiter Club, and he's trying to claw his way to the top of the Destiny Orbiters.
I don't. Well,
Spoiler
wait.
alert:
If that
he's
was
not going to
Mhm.
climb his way up the Destiny hierarchy. He is like the punching bag.
Well, I mean, first of all, you could be right that he's the punching bag for the Destiny Orbiters. I
He
could
is,
100%
yeah.
believe that. But I guess what I was going to say is I wouldn't characterize, at least I'd need further evidence. I don't believe that's the case with Connor because to me, it's a very similar claim of like him saying that we're audience captured or saying, actually, he's saying you're specifically audience, not me.
No,
But he's
your
saying-
audience captured too. What are you talking
Okay.
about? We have the same audience.
Right.
Don't try
That's
to
true.
weasel out of
That's
this.
true. No, but to me, that's kind of a similar claim as saying your audience captured because to me, it's like, okay, if that was true, then even you would just, try to placate the right wing elements of our audience. That's what audience capture would be. I don't know why you would be like this whole, Kamala curious thing, and kind of going on that journey where you're, praising some things that Kamala is doing, you're criticizing some things that Trump is doing. Like, why wouldn't you just, kind of go full tilt, into the Trump camp if your audience captured? And I would say it's the same thing with Connor. If he's trying to do something to placate Destiny, I don't know why he wouldn't just be like 100%. Yeah, I'm voting for Kamala. I'm a never Trump Republican. Like that, I would think that would be the way to do it, not to get kind of bogged down in this 40-minute, hour-long conversation where Pisco and Loner Box are yelling at him about the Second Amendment. So.
Because he's hedging. Like he knows he's in the Destiny Orbiter Club, but he could be ejected from that club at any moment. If he's ejected, then he needs to go out and do his own thing, and that own thing would he's obviously like got right-wing moral intuitions. Like he would be more comfortable doing something in the right-wing space. So the right wing would just completely reject him. That's why he's doing that. He's hedging. He's saying, is it going to work out in the orbiter sphere, or do I need to go back to being what I'm more comfortable with?
I don't see it that way. I think a lot of these disagreements come from the fact that we're assuming a lot of negative intentions on both sides. You're assuming negative intentions about Connor, and Connor was assuming a lot of negative intentions about you from the beginning of the conversation. And
yes,
and that's why he made the statement.
That part is true. Yes.
And it's kind of like, look at Steve Schmidt. Okay. He's a very interesting guy. Or what's the Michael Steele? You have Steve Schmidt and Michael Steele, who are both, Republicans, were very high in the Republican Party. And then they start doing, correspondence for MSNBC. And it's like super clear that they're just like a token Republican who phrases everything in sort of an MSNBC, like a way that the MSNBC audience wants to hear. Right. And I very rarely, if ever, hear them say anything Republican-y on those platforms. So, I mean, that's why I just don't see, I don't see Connor as doing that. I think he just has a very specific view of the world, and he has the human failing of assuming incorrectly about other people's motivations. So,
yeah, that is the human failing. And there's obviously like a personality conflict between us. It causes him to like lean into that, which I probably made worse, but whatever. I don't
yeah, it's okay.
I don't give a fuck.
It was a fun conversation.
Look, I have to go back on my record, right? I called Trump winning in 2016. I called Trump running again in 2020. I called fucking Joe Biden dropping out of the race. I called fucking Mr. Girl. Like, I have a track record.
True. You know what? I mean, that is fair. You have had a good record on these sorts of things. So
I called fucking Jangles. Look.
You did.
We'll see. We'll see. Look, Connor's going to be around for a while. We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. I'm looking forward to the Connor arc, Destiny's Connor arc, the right wing. Like what I see Destiny grooming Connor for is, here is a right winger that I've converted to a Democrat that will do anything that I say. That's what I see for Connor in the Destiny future, in the Destiny sphere. So we'll see if it works out.
Okay. Hail the Free Voice for $2 says LMAFO Connor needs to take his meds hard. There you go.
Well, this was an uncomfortable situation to be in. So
right.
Yeah.
Rick Cormier for $50. Thanks so much. says, hold on, is Connor accusing you of something, then saying defend yourself? He's offering no specifics, just general statements like, I think you do X. Does he not understand if you make statements, the burden of proof is on him?
He didn't seem to understand that. And thank you for the generous super chat. And thank you for pointing that out, obviously.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
He wasn't. Look, I just wanted him to say, look, this is wrong. Look, and it's intuitive, Sitch, right? Misrepresenting people on a giant platform is wrong, right?
Sure. Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to go on your channel, Connor, where you get limited amount of views and talk mad shit about us, like knock yourself out. It's just, why are you doing it in front of Destiny's audience?
Right. Dialogue always for $5 says, the actor dialogue always, not the fake one. Says, audience capture is admitting you know the arguments surrounding whiteness, but saying none of it matters because people view it differently.
Well, that is a great definition.
Well, first of all, I mean, I'm trying to remember, have we said that regarding the whiteness thing? I think my position was more that I think that the people that sort of use this like hyper kind of bullshit argument or definition of whiteness are doing so intentionally dishonestly. I don't think I'm not making the same argument around whiteness as I said that Connor was with using audience capture in a very hyper specific way that other people don't recognize. I think when the people use this, oh, I'm criticizing whiteness, but I'm not actually being racist against white people. I think that's just a total, I mean, maybe some people believe that, maybe they've convinced some of their students to believe that, but I'm very skeptical of the majority of people using it in such a fashion. That seems just hyper dishonest, the way they use the term whiteness.
Yeah, and I was only joking about that being a good definition of audience capture. I hope you guys understood that. So
yeah, right. RBGH fan for $5 says, Adam, I dare you to vote for the orange man over the half dead guy.
I know, it's such a vexing question.
Puck971 for $5 says, as much as I hate this kind of drama, I feel sorry for Connor. He looks so unhinged and desperate for a hug.
I did. Look, I do. That's the bleeding heart liberal in me right there. I do feel bad. I'll probably feel bad about this later, even though the guy's a dishonest fucking piece of shit.
Gay Ben for $2 says, Adam must be forced to publicly call Trump a threat. There you go.
No doubt. Exactly. Look, and this is so silly because Connor has worked himself into this position where he's just, oh man, they're able to brutalize him and there's nothing he can do.
Right.
Yeah, because he's made that public declaration. So knock yourself out, guy.
Halo Free Voice for $5. Thank you so much. Says, so this is what happens when someone talks shit and gets challenged, then is too fat and lazy to watch the content and cries about it.
Oh yeah, exactly.
I don't want to read. I'm not going to read that one out, but that's too mean. Naxless for $5 says, Adam, I do think you're right here, but it's good to give grace. I think you're coming off too hard will burn bridges. Sometimes people are misunderstood. Look,
you're probably correct. You are probably, I'm going to say you are correct. But look, I don't understand why it's just not crystal clear. It's just not cool. And he wouldn't make any concessions. He's like, no, I'm innocent. I didn't know. He pled ignorance. I fucking hate that. Look, I actually believe in personal responsibility. It's one of the things that the right talks about that I fucking believe in, right? Take some personal responsibility, dude.
Well, I think what was happening was that, and I've been this, and I've definitely fallen in this way too. And maybe I don't think I was this way with Pisco, because I think fuck Pisco. But
you were. People in the comments were like, you were too hard, Sitch. So.
I know. People were saying I was too hard Pisco. So that's kind of funny. Now it's your turn. I was going to say, I think what happens in these conversations is that when, people get heated, it's like any level of, like if someone asks something, not just charity, but any level of someone asks something and you say, I'm not going to do it because it feels like, fuck that. Like, you're just like, fuck that guy. Like, that's the mentality.
I know.
And I think it was kind of, and I know that you got to that level. And I think Connor actually, I didn't realize, I think he walked in the conversation at that level, which was kind of fascinating because I anticipated,
he was baiting on the Trump though stuff. That was totally baiting. So
right.
Like go ahead.
I guess I'd just say I anticipated like the introduction of the conversation being a little bit different in terms of just like the, oh, well, I apologize if I, state your position, blah, blah,
Oh
blah.
man, it would be a completely
right?
different conversation.
And then the ask of like, well, what is your position? But then it was weird because then when we finally got to what your position was, he said that his view of your position was completely correct, so it didn't matter. And then that led us to the, well, how is that position audience capture? And that, then we got down that kind of weird definition of audience capture. So I
Right.
guess it wouldn't have mattered one way or the other, unless that answer was just again based on the heatedness of the conversation.
I think
So
it was.
it's possible. M8566 for $10 says woo payment number 4137. Jesus.
It's so weird.
Matt for $5 says crazy work doing this on the way to pick up the kiddo. Yeah, I mean,
that was unfortunate, very unfortunate. We look like monsters.
I know. I would have just told Connor to just not come on if I knew that was the situation.
Look, and
right?
I tried to wrap up. I tried to say, like, we can do this another time once I heard the wife in the background. So
yeah, maybe we should have just pieced out at that point because
right.
Yeah, I don't know. That was weird. Fondue for $2 says, I don't know what Connor thinks audience capture is. Well, that was before we got the definition. But yeah, it's weird, kind of an unusual definition. Brian Schultz for $5 says, Connor is controlled by chaos. Adam's our golden bird boy, sacrificing himself with the sword so God Emperor Sitch can save humanity. Wow, I like that. That's pretty good.
That is good.
That's pretty good. Naxos for $5 says, this is a shit show. Bridge has been completely burned, and I think Connor was trying to be good, unlike Isco. I can't be a channel member after this. Wow, Naxos canceled his channel membership. Okay. That's how you feel that way.
Well, look, I mean, yeah, okay. I don't that it's a tough spot because look, I don't want to burn bridges with people, but I honestly do not think Connor can hear my position in all honesty. Like I don't, this is going to happen again. This is going to happen continuously. And I'm not going to be on my hands and knees begging Connor to like try to get our position right.
Right.
It's just, that's not going to happen. So look, I thank you for being a member for as long as you have been, and it is what it is. So.
Yep. Lives and does well specifically for $5 says, I refuse to use Twitter, so I have no context for what's going on. I'm just enjoying my day at the zoo next to the elephant enclosure.
Oh, nice.
Very smart. It's very smart. Yes. Hayden Dill for $2 says, I thought Adam promised not to get triggered. That's never
wasn't that like that was my New Year's resolution, if you remember, if you could remember that far back. That. Yeah.
I forgot that.
Thank you for reminding me, Hayden. Right. I'll see if look, I mean, I won't say I wasn't triggered at some points, but I think I did better than normal. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kusi Karsusi for $20. Thank you so much. Says, you are my page show, Adam. Here's some super pack dollars. A-Team reigns supreme. S-Class is second best class. Wow.
Oh, wow. Okay, nice. Thank you. Yes, thank you.
PC for $10 says, current political discourse revolves around people taking clips and tweets and extrapolating positions from there. Why should Adam state a position here when he knows it will be misconstrued later?
Thank you. Okay, look, PC articulated it perfectly. If only we could have got Connor to read that super chat. Look, he basically admitted that was the case on Twitter. I don't know why he kept taking it back. Well, because I was being mean. That's why he kept taking it back.
Right. Trusted Flagger for $10 says, this is simply a Connor struggle session. What a POS. You made yourself seem sane to begin with, but you're literally what you accuse Adam and Sitch of. There you go.
Right. Yeah, that is Connor trying to do a struggle session with us, but we weren't really taking the bait. So.
Right. WTF 1A for $2 says, LOL, Dishonest Destiny is watching you right now. Oh, well, nice. Look at that.
Is he really?
That's funny.
Shit. That must be why the chat was so filled with vitriolic comments towards me. So.
Oh, really? I didn't even look at the chat.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I thought, look, something's off about the chat here. Usually our audience is not categorically against me.
That's right. Usually our audience is captured by us.
Yes.
And Nicholas Gus, thanks so much for the $5. Fondue for $2 says, listen more. Old Jordan B. Peterson.
Oh, yeah, totally. Look, and that's what we tried. Sitch and I both try to do that. Sometimes I'm worse at it, and Sitch like reels me in. Okay, listen to what they're saying, Adam.
Right.
It's kind of funny. Yeah.
Your local Oh, Destiny he popped in the chat to come on? Oh, did he? I didn't see that. I mean, why didn't he? I feel like it's so weird when people like just send me a message on
wait,
Twitter
no, thank
or
you.
something.
No,
Yeah, I mean,
thank you.
that would have made that conversation even
Yeah.
more like intense. But I don't know why people do that. It's weird. Your local Russian Negro for $5 says Connor started this fight with his raging elephant. Adam hit back. I don't see the problem. W Adam Elephant Country. Let's ride.
Look, some people are a fan of Adam's elephant, so
Well, I do agree that I mean, you know, Connor struck first blood. You know,
Right.
he kind of started the situation in the first place. I mean, obviously he can perceive it that way, but so I would say that it should be indicative for him to sort of take the initial, you know, open hand, right, in that situation. But maybe that's just my
yeah.
position.
I mean, it's a tough. I mean, I have to give Connor props for even coming on the live stream. So
Right. Hail the free voice for $2. Thank you so much. Says LMAFO. Hey guys, he watched all of 5 whole minutes. Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah. Sobek for 3 months says Connor be like, quote, say Christ is Lord. You say Christ is a Lord.
Yeah. He
No, it's
did
interesting
want
because
us.
I feel
Go
like
ahead.
so much of people's most people don't who I feel like most people that criticize don't watch people's content. And this is kind of why I do not like Twitter. And I don't know if I've been using Twitter significantly less recently because I feel like so many of people just they cultivate an opinion. And I'm guilty of this too, 100%. So many people cultivate their opinions about people based on like these Twitter posts. And so much of Twitter is like,
Lies.
you know, well, it's like missing context or trolls or kind of tongue-in-cheek comments or just being intentionally as incendiary and hyperbolic as possible. And it just, I don't know. I really don't like those sorts of interactions. Insta for $5 says this is why it's the Sitch and Adam show, baby. S class is the best class. Well, thank you. I try.
You're always the best, Sitch.
Thank you.
You did great. I think I'm falling in love with you all over.
I mean,
wait,
okay.
no homo. I got to make sure I say no homo.
Thank you. Quotation points for 2 months says, hey, Sitch and Adam, love you guys. Keep up the great work. Don't let destiny deny your destiny. I like, there you go.
It is our destiny.
Zero Fucks for $2 says,
Oh
hi,
my
Destiny,
God.
with a kissy face. There
Look,
you
none
go.
of we did not know Destiny was in the chat. Like I wasn't super keeping eyes on the chat anyway. I was like
Right.
trying to focus
Well,
on
I mean,
the
you were yelling at
conversation.
Connor, so yeah, that's fine.
Well, yeah.
The Butter Anvil for $2 says S class is best class. Thank you. Twitter Sucks for $5 says, how's he going to feel about an abolitionist conservative saying you guys aren't MAGA minded? LOL. There you go.
Right.
Understate for 20 Canadian. Thanks so much. Says Sitch, quote, just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. Adam, deep down in places you don't talk about at parties, you want me on that wall. You need me on that wall. That's pretty good.
That's right. That's exactly right. You can't handle the truth, Sitch.
Right. JV for $5 says pusillanimous, or however you say it.
Oh no, yeah. What's the
courage
definition?
Or determination, timid. Wow. I mean, listen, that's a
That
$10 word if I ever heard one.
And that is another fucking lie by Connor. Another fucking lie.
Yeah.
Did I seem timid or lacking courage in that conversation to you?
No, not really.
Yeah. Fuck you, Connor.
WTF 1A for $5 says Destiny's chat being as bad faith as the girl himself, LMAO. When is Destiny going to have a good faith conversation?
Well, look, and that's why, why does he even want to come on? Like, why? Look, we're not Destiny's punching bag, okay?
Right.
Like, fuck you.
Nomad for $2 says Adam versus Connor close orbit collision.
Okay.
Clyde, thanks so much for joining the Free Will Seekers. Death by Sloth for $2 says, as your audience, we demand you vote for Jank.
Look, I might vote for Jank. We'll see how this thing pans out.
WTF 1A for Joe says Destiny's out being a lurker and join. Well, yeah, so that's fair for him. RBGH fan for $20. Thank you so much. Says Biden, who voted yes on every war/occupation in the Middle East in 20 years, millions of deaths, locked up more men than anyone else since Nixon, is great, but the orange man who had the intel agencies hate is a threat to democracy. WTF. Naxless for $5 says Adam calls lying anytime someone misunderstands him and states their incorrect understanding. It's incredibly incendiary. I guess it feels good.
Well, look, it's systemic lying, okay? And if he can go on Destiny's live stream and accuse me of being fucking dishonest, I can call him a goddamn liar, okay?
Right. Mike Osborne for 16 months says Connor completely missing the point of Adam, misrepresenting him just like he did to Destiny. Tragic. Yeah. Moondoggy for $10 says, why do people want to control your lives so bad? Most normal people will be like, he will vote for what he wants to vote.
That is supposed to be how democracy works, right?
Right.
Yeah, come on.
There is this interesting thing, and that people, they get very, very wrapped up in who other people are voting for. And I mean, I don't feel that way anymore, but I noticed I used to feel that way. So
Yeah, because if Trump gets reelected, they're not going to be able to sleep at night. They're like, think of my feelings. I'm gonna be in a scared, bitter mood all the time.
Right. Caleb for $4 says, Destiny, when is the Sam Harris conversation happening?
That sounds cool.
Alex S for $5 says, I can't help but think Connor is doing a quote good people on both sides on Adam. Clearly, Adam's vote is a moving target, but Connor couldn't grasp that.
Nope.
I don't know. I felt like Connor was being too defensive about, he made a mistake and he was pissed at you, so he didn't want to just acknowledge it. So,
Yeah, because he didn't want to give me the win.
Right.
Especially after I called him a liar like 7 times.
Right. 0-0. Well, remember, this is we need you got to remember the art of war. Okay, you got to give your enemies room to retreat. Right.
Why didn't you bring that up before the live stream?
I guess I should have. I should have messaged you that before the stream started.
Look, everyone's going to hate me in the comments. I really don't care. They're going to be like, oh my God, Adam, you're so mean, burning bridges. Look, we do. And I do. I even said my politics are kind of, civility politics. I believe in being charitable and humble, right? That was not charitable and humble.
Sure,
so we've cultivated an audience of people who want that. And when we don't deliver, they get pissed. And I'm used to it. So look, I'm only human. So
right. I mean, a lot of people are supporting you going off. So
yeah, we'll see what happens.
00 Kayla for 21 months. Thanks so much. Says S class is best class. Thank you.
Yeah.
WT1A1A for $2 says, oh snap, he had to get Pisco to rag on you guys. Wait, really? That's pretty funny. Octasy for $5 says Adam doesn't fit Connor's liberal stereotype, so he's audience captured.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, essentially, that was the argument. Yeah. Genie and Penguin for $5 says, as a random sampling of the audience, I can say Adam is not my captive. YouTubers are notoriously expensive to keep fed and housed, and I ain't wealthy. There you go. Gayman $5 says Destiny supported attacking public institutions during BLM. Does Connor think this affront to democracy supported by Dems in office is disqualifying?
I've heard that argument a lot, and it's a good one. Yeah.
Alaric Skandavesky, thank you for the $2. Says the Democrats want to get rid of the Constitution.
I don't think that's true.
Yeah, I don't even know what that's in reference to. Britt Cormier for $5 says pusillanimous, the word Connor's teacher made him look up today and use in a sentence so he could sound smart.
Oh, that's mean.
It's pretty mean. Twitter sucks for $2 says at audience captured. I hate both of you. Cringe. Well, thank you. Twitter sucks. Nighttime Lime for 5 Canadian says, quote, I didn't do any research. I made multiple claims about you, but I didn't lie. LOL. LMAO even.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you even know you didn't lie?
Right. Lives in Dev's Wall specifically for $5 says, when one's reputation has been injured, a duel was fought to demonstrate the honor of each party in the quash beef. May I suggest Lenifant and Meliphant? I don't know what those words mean in this dueling context. Oh, those are people that like dueled each other. The Justice 35 for $10 says, the last 45 minutes, Connor, what is your position? Adam, I hate you. Blessed are the S-Class peacemakers. Sitch, you did great this conversation, but I wish we got better audio, though. S-Class forever. Well, thank you. Do you mean better audio from me or from Connor? I'm assuming the audio is
yeah,
okay.
there was some. No, it was fine.
Okay. WTF 1A for Joe says Destiny fell for a comedy sketch as an education. What? I don't know what that's in reference to. JMac, thanks so much for our sorry follow for $20. Says this this conversation has been great to listen to while I clean my garage in 105-degree weather. Oh my god, what a champion! Love you guys, even if you don't love each other. Also, one thing can we all agree on is female Tauren are the best girls? No, never, JMac. Oh, terrible taste. Terrible taste. We all know night elf girls are the best girls. Come on.
Oh, the penis ears. Sitch loves them.
Yeah, listen.
He loves
Just want
to
to suck
deep
on those
throat.
long ears, all right?
He loves to deep throat an elf ear.
It's like to see those elf ears flop around, as they're running and jumping. And the free voice for $5 says so because Connor couldn't control himself on Twitter. Because Connor couldn't control himself on Twitter. Adam's audience captured and wrong. You guys are narcissists and on the decline. All right. Majin for $5 says, hey fellas, I'm sorry that the guys you have been audience captured and fight with us at every turn. Maybe I'll unlock the door Sitch so you can get some air. Well, thank you, Majin. I do appreciate it. And also stop slipping lewd drawings under the door, okay?
Oh, I know.
Get it.
No way.
Hail the
great
free
part
voice.
Of the show.
Exactly. Hail the free voice for $2 says how to let a clown gaslight your entire show.
True. Oh, clown is a little harsh. I'm trying to be nice now.
Yeah. WTF 1A for $2 says don't you guys usually make more money fighting with us? I feel like that is true.
Yes. That is true. Yeah.
PC for $2 says I've never heard the audience capture used neutrally. Yeah, me neither. Because I mean, under his definition, literally everyone, every commentator, every content creator is audience captured. So Oshacy for $5 says there's something dishonest when someone says you are audience captured. Then when press says everyone is audience captured, then why bring it up? That's a great point. Yeah, that's a great point, actually. And yeah, you know what? That is actually a good point. I wish I'd seen that because then that can't be then Connor must know on some level, whether conscious or unconscious, that that's not true or that there's a negative connotation to it. Because if he literally means everyone's audience captured, then he wouldn't use us or anyone as an example of audience capture because it's just anyone. It's anyone
why doesn't he go on Destiny's stream and tell Destiny he's audience captured?
Right, exactly. That's a great point, Oshacy. Edward Sr. for $10 says, would you construe calling someone a pussy-ass bitch to their face an invitation to a contest of the manly art of self-defense? Should it be? I mean, I'm assuming those would be fighting words. I don't know what the actual legal laws are for every state regarding fighting words and fighting and all that stuff. But
I don't think you should escalate to violence over pussy-ass bitch.
Right.
Yeah,
that is true. That's a good point. Twitter Sucks for $10 says, so because you guys are getting paid like the super chat by people who call you Trump shills, while also saying you have TDS, it means your audience captured. This is brain melting.
Yes. Yeah, we get accused of both.
Moondoggy, thanks so much for the $10. Says, we top 5, boys. That's right. We made the top 5. Thank you.
Top 5 of like dishonest reactionaries.
Right. Did the thing.
Skipped on me once too, and it took me forever to find my place again.
QB Madara for 500. Are those Filipino pesos or whatever? Yes, it is. Thank you so much for the 500 Filipino pesos or Philippine pesos. Says, I don't think it's fair to say Connor's being dishonest. Connor probably believes what he's saying about Adam. Maybe he's a little quick to cast judgment, albeit unfairly, but I don't think Connor is deliberately malicious.
Well, at least you are willing to admit that it's unfair. So, yeah, like I often say, more harm is caused in the world by incompetence than maliciousness. So it could be incompetence. I'm not sure that it is, though, to be honest with you. So I'm kind of agnostic on that point right now. I think in the future, after this live stream, it will be totally intentional and malicious. So
right.
But look, I made my bed, so I'll sleep in it.
You did great. You did wonderful.
Thank you.
Crush him. Crush him.
Well, look, everyone's always coming after me, and you get
Right.
off scot-free. So, but in all honesty, I really don't give a fuck to be like I am out like mowing my lawn.
Right, right.
So,
Mars University for 20 Canadian. Thanks so much. Says, you guys realize this is what you did to Devin Tracy. Also, I have the Destiny lies if you want them. Well, I don't know what the Destiny lies is that you're referring to, but I think that's completely unfair to characterize that we did this to Devin Tracy, because I think you misremember the order of events. The Devin Tracy situation was he 100% misunderstood my tweet about the I forget what they called. You remember the situation with the bike Karen lady? They were calling her the bike Karen. And we did a whole stream defending her and saying that the kids that were bogarting the bikes were in the wrong. And he completely misunderstood my tweet and thought I was defending them. And he went on this like huge campaign on Twitter, like attacking me and calling me like names and all this other shit. And then in response to that, I saw one of his positions, which I misunderstood, and I talked about it on stream incorrectly. And then he started crying about it. And then I looked into it and I said, oh, I did misunderstand his position, and I corrected the record on it. And then he refused. He flatly refused, even though he 100% knew that he was wrong about my position. He completely refused to offer any sort of apology or any sort of correction. So I completely disagree with you. I think he was completely being a massive piece of shit in that conversation, and he's just too cowardly to admit that he was at fault. So I don't think that's even a remotely fair characterization.
he doesn't want to give you the win.
Right.
Yeah. That sucks too, because like he seems like someone we could have decent conversations with. So
right. Chachi McSquaw for $50. Thank you so much for the $50.
Yeah, that's
says
awesome.
Destiny and his crew occasionally smack down individual fringe lefties, and they think that gives them authority at best, dismiss and more often defend the ideological roots of leftist extremism. Centrists take these roots seriously, which they can't stand.
Well, we are in favor of liberalism, defined as expanding individual rights. So,
right.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. There's weird because when I was listening to that conversation with Connor, I was talking to Destiny, and the end of it ended up with them putting Connor through the struggle session because he said he wouldn't necessarily vote for Kamala because of the Second Amendment stuff, and he doesn't want any Second Amendment restrictions. It was weird in that conversation. Destiny made this comment where he said that, he was talking about it in the reference of emotional abuse, but I'm assuming he meant it in regards to centrism or something, because it seemed like that was the context of the conversation. Was he said he would actually prefer people to just be against him than for people to do like I have the ability, than for people to sort of verbalize that they could see both sides of the issue. And to me, that was very fascinating. And I think that sort of cements sort of why he, maybe that's why he sort of has the positions he has. So
he did go through a little phase where that was like his brand. I'm the one who can articulate conservative issues that the left in a way that the left understands them.
Right, which is why I was kind of surprised to hear him say that that's such a trigger for him emotionally. So.
Right.
Stug, thanks so much for the $2 and the sad face, or I don't know what that emoji is in the contest.
Yeah, what is that?
Grendel Vat, thanks so much for the 18 months. Says, if I learned one thing from this conversation, it's that Connor is definitely S-class over 18.
True. Very true.
Nomad for $2 says, whoop, whoop, it's the internet politics police.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Gene the Angry Penguin for $5 says, I can sum Connor's general position up. If you don't agree with his conclusion definitions, you are wrong because he has amazing psychic powers.
Yeah.
Twitter sucks for $20. Thank you so much. Says, this entire conversation was Connor asking Adam to clarify a position he doesn't hold and then framing them in a way to pigeonhole Adam into saying positions that Connor has falsely attributed to Trump to Adam. Insanity.
Yeah, totally. And I was getting super pissed about that. Because
Right.
it's so gaslighty, fucking dishonest bullshit.
Yeah, yeah. Stargate 404 for $5 says, what do you guys think of Comrade Kamala? Alliteration and less direct than commie. Do you think it is adjacent enough without the normative baggage? It's got a nice alliteration. I could be wrong, but my intuition tells me, as someone who is worried about sort of leftist degradation and infiltration of the Democrats, I'm not sure the sort of communist label or anything like in that ballpark is just persuasive to the normie voter, or the swing voter, the normie voter, anyone on the left. I think they just it's something that needs to be built up in people's minds, and it just hasn't been. It just doesn't make sense. I wish that wasn't the case, but I don't think it works.
It works if it's a base election and Trump has plenty of voters to get him over the finish line, and he just needs to motivate those voters to the polls to vote for him.
That's a good point.
It doesn't work at all because it comes off as like conspiracy laden. If I was Trump, I would completely drop all the communism stuff, because especially since the Democrats, if you're listening to any of the DNC speeches, like they're leaning into this Trump is a bully and a conspiracy theorist.
Right.
So every time he says communism or gives someone a funny nickname, that people think, oh, that's the bully. Oh, that's a conspiracy theory. So, and this trope like plays into both of them simultaneously. So I do think it's kind of stepping in this trap that the Democrats have laid. Trump needs to come off and look presidential and try to go for independent voters. Go ahead. I keep stepping on you.
No. I mean, you're correct. It's good in terms of turning out base. It's not really good if you need not your base. And I know it's infuriating because I feel the same way when you see some, MSNBC commentator or someone, make this smug face. They say, oh, it's so ridiculous to say that like there's any, smack of socialism or communism, in these sort of like in wokeness or something, right? And they kind of make this smug face. And I know it's like infuriating because those people are either 100% dishonest, lying pieces of shit, or they're just the biggest fucking retards of all time. We're just completely blind to this weird movement on the young left that is it's unclear whether it's gaining more traction or dying out. It's unclear what the future for the Democrats hold going forward. But it's just, unfortunately, I just think the messaging has not been good on the right. And the messaging has been too good countering it on the left. And it's just not even perceivable, because like a lot of the things, when I was listening to some of the DNC speeches, they kept bringing up this one talking point. They kept saying, we want to do some good thing, and the Republicans want to ban books.
Yeah,
they said like a million times they want to ban books, and I was like, it was crazy because like, okay, those books, like the majority of those books that people were even talking about, they're books that they had pornography in them. They featured like graphic rape scenes, and I was like, okay, I don't think it's so unreasonable for parents to not want children to be accessing these books that have, graphic sexual illustrations in them or things of that nature. So.
Yeah. Look, I'm infuriated when I see that smug look and the comparison to conspiracy theorists as well. So we're there with you guys. I don't want you to think we're not. So,
right.
But it's just, you have to be conscious of that. Yeah.
Right. Ace for $5 says Destiny's coming off as the vindictive ex that didn't handle the breakup of a week-long relationship with you guys and pretends that he was mistreated. Okay. I'm not surprised, but
is it? So maybe you're watching his stream. Look, we obviously are streaming right now, so we can't. Really, I would prefer that, like, we just keep it professional with Destiny. Like, Destiny has a huge audience. I don't want him to come after us or anything like that. So, I mean. That's my take, Sitch. I'm assuming you have a similar take, right?
Sure. I mean, yes, sure. Caleb for $5 says ending the republic based on a delusion or a lie is against liberal principles. Due process is a fundamental liberal principle. Sure. Okay. I agree. Ministry of Dinosaurs for 10 PLN says message from counterpoints by Progressive Victory. Wow, there you go.
Oh, it was Progressive Victory. People in the chat, I did see a couple chats where they're like, you don't know what PV is? Oh my God. But I'm guessing they must have been like Destiny stands or something, because
I don't know. Yeah.
Progressive Victory is the thing.
Azriel for $2 says, here's some cash. Now dance puppets. There you go.
Never.
House Sparks for $10 says nothing says we're not adding audience captured like only reading super chats. S class is best class with money signs. I mean, listen, there's a difference between being audience captured and saying, give us your money, right?
And you guys, the
Okay.
super chats often disagree. So how
That's
can you be
true.
audience captured if everyone's on a different side here?
That's true. Ace for $5 says Destiny has lost any right to claim that he is not a toxic jerk and the cause of all his relationship failures. He has proven Mr. Girl right. Really? Wow. Okay. I haven't been
That's
following enough
painful.
of the drama to comment on that one way or the other.
I think Mr. Girl, I don't like Mr. Girl, so obviously it pains me to hear anyone say Mr. Girl was right.
Right. Beers and bullshit for 10 gifted memberships. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks.
Ace for another $5. Thank you, Ace. Says Destiny whines so much about people being uncharitable, but throughout so much of his career, he has been so uncharitable to so many people.
He's been uncharitable to us too, and it's just
Right.
it's funny because the progressives are the ones that always talk about, if you have a large audience, you have to be responsible, right, Sitch? You got to be responsible.
Right.
You got responsibilities, right?
Yep.
Our audience is not that big, and I would feel horrible if we're out there constantly misrepresenting people, assigning them attributes that they don't possess. It's wrong. It's totally wrong.
I wonder. Well, never mind. Malice for 29 months
No,
of
what do you
discipline equals
wonder,
freedom.
Sitch? What do you wonder? Come
No,
on,
it's
everyone
not.
wants to know.
Doesn't matter. It was just. It doesn't matter. It was about. I wonder if any large fan base, like I feel like if a fan base of anything gets too large, it just becomes like this toxic behemoth thing.
You got to bring the toxic people in to build a large audience. You really do.
No. I think it's just like an averages thing, because it's the same thing with like a political movement. As something grows, like let's just imagine that like 10% of the population is insane, right?
Oh, totally.
Like 10%.
Psychopathic.
Yeah. Right. And it's the same thing of any hierarchy, right? 10% of the population is going to be insane. And the more like you're going to have those people just seem to be more motivated and more energized to sort of climb the hierarchy. So I think that like it's any large audience is going to have, it's like more likely just numerically for like the crazy people to climb the hierarchy, because there's just more chances of getting the crazy people in the audience, right?
Yep.
Malice for 29 months of discipline equals freedom. Thank you so much. Says been gone for a few months, only to come back to everyone fighting. Love it. There you go. Look at that.
Nice.
Malice is like the community gif with Troy when he gets the pizza and he comes back and everything's on fire.
I love that one.
Captain Calf, thanks so much for joining the Free Will Seekers. Ace for $10 says Destiny is an emotional man-child that acts as if the world's against him, when in reality he is a petty loser who can't have a relationship with anyone that agrees with him. Wow, Ace is really, really hitting Destiny. These super chats. Stargate 404 for $5 says, what do you think of Lemon fact-checking the guy who said he was making less money now than 4 years ago? Seems emblematic of Democrat media elitism plus gaslighting.
I didn't see it, yeah, but I'll check it out.
I'm
Is
assuming
it
you're talking
Don
about
Lemon?
Yeah, I'm assuming you mean Dom Lemon. So I saw clips of like him wandering around, asking people questions. I haven't actually watched any of them. So, AKA Batosai for 29 months. Thank you so much for being a Fruit Seeker for 29 months. Says, I don't think Connor understands that you are accepting of the comedy that is focused towards both parties and you lay out the positions of both. Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
I mean, we've been criticizing Trump all the time. God, we were just criticizing him. Like, he's fucking up so bad.
I know.
He's fucking up so bad.
Liz and Dev News Wall specifically. Oh, look, New Walls for $5. Says, quote, generous tit for tat continues to be an empirical, excellent strategy for repeating prisoner's dilemma, worth meditating on how that generalizes.
Look, and I'm a very forgiving guy. Obviously, I talk about forgiveness all the time on the live stream. If Connor wants to get down on his hands and knees and beg my forgiveness, then I will forgive him. So
right.
But it's got to be on a live stream in front of everyone.
There you go.
Look, I'm kidding. Okay, I'm leaning into the joke. I'm not going to forgive Connor even if he does that.
Wow. Okay.
I'm joking. Look, I'm joking again. God, okay. I would be embarrassed if someone did that. Please do not do that, Connor. Okay.
Captain Ka for 200 Donkey Kong dollars. Thanks so much. Says, one of the things I really love about Adam is his artist way of being an absolute bully and defiant against anyone trying to force him to do something he does not want to do. Love you guys.
True. Yeah.
That's
Look
true.
at that.
You're very rebellious.
I'm sure a lot of you guys That's a psychological reactance right there. You guys all felt it.
Right. Stargate 404 $5 says, Huntermer, quote, you now wish that I had died and Boromir had lived. Oh, I see you're doing the thing from the other day. Biden Thor, against the power that has risen against MAGA, there can be no victory. Yes.
Hmm.
That was related to, I compared Biden would prefer that Bo survived and Hunter died, and kind of comparing that to the scene from Lord of the Rings. Yes,
Mr.
with
Ubercross,
Boromir and Faramir.
Mr.
I mean,
Ubercross coming in here with the hilarious chat.
Mr. Ubercross, thanks so much for the 28 months of being Free Will Seeker says, I haven't seen Adam's elephant run this well in quite a while. It's good to let the old boy stretch his legs. There you go.
That's funny. I wish I could heart that comment, but it doesn't let you heart the community post. So,
if Adam and Sitch started focusing more on the missteps of the right than missteps of the left, the audience would begin leaning left over time. I mean, have you not been watching our content? We've been talking about the missteps of the right and Trump's campaign like for the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, and I constantly get messages from people saying like I've changed their mind on MMT and stuff.
Right.
It's like, yeah,
I don't know. I feel like we've been going through. Listen. Maybe this is part of my issue. I feel like I'm a natural hater. Okay, I just hate. I like to hate.
I'm a natural lover. We're a perfect.
I know that's the problem.
Yeah.
I like to hate things, and so it's easy for me to look at both the Kamala's campaign and the Trump campaign and be like, look at all the dumb shit they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Though I do think Kamala's been running her campaign, even if I disagree with it or aspects of it, like the identity politics stuff. I do think she's been running it much more effectively than Trump has been running his campaign.
Yeah. Did you watch that video? Christian Baller sent me a video, a podcast that Trump did that he wanted us to talk about. Well, we should read those. We have a couple other super chats that we missed from the last stream too. Is it this past week? Theo Vaughn.
Mm-hmm.
Did you watch
the one
that?
with Trump? I didn't watch the one with Trump. No.
He actually talks about Trump's executive order on hospital pricing transparency. It's hilarious. Like, this is the problem with Trump. Nobody fucking knows about that because Trump isn't out there talking about it. He's too busy talking about how Kamala Harris is a communist.
And the crowd size stuff.
Yeah, look. Right. I mean, that policy nobody knows exists.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay. Let's see. I watch all the time. I'm just saying the frequencies on equal. All right. Well, I disagree. Loser Domain for 2 Canadians says A-Team reigns supreme. There you go.
Thank you, Lucifer.
Understate for 10 Canadians says Adam didn't go too hard. Connor was insulting, gaslighting, strawmanning, and all in all being pond scum. Univrai sans dissonay.
Well, that was my perspective, but sometimes you get into these things and like you listen back and you're like, oh man, I was totally ill perceiving the situation. So
right. Mason Jordan for 10 months says, I will always blindly give my free will to Supreme Leader Sitch, but I was cheering on Adam during the stream. S-Class backing A-Team. Look, there you go. Based.
Thanks.
Rex Vectum for $10 says, it really is so funny. Connor is literally paid by a political group and is accusing you of being audience captured. He didn't even need to be captured. He just handcuffed himself and turned himself in.
Basically.
Malik for $10 says, missed the Connor stuff. Sounds like it was hilarious. I can't wait to go back and listen. Nomad for $5 says, love how the Sitch and Adam get the accusation of being sellouts, but not the benefits of being sellouts. Shit, we don't even have a Noble Gold sponsorship. Yeah, we need to get some Noble Gold up in here. All right.
I did message Sean one time about the sponsorship thing, but
right.
He was like, I don't think you guys are ready or something to
I want some Noble Gold. I want some that everyone's been hawking that bed thing recently too. All that bed stuff.
Look, it's been a long time and I can't remember what Sean's response was, and I didn't press too hard, so obviously. Right. Yeah. I don't want to throw Sean under the bus.
It's fine. We're just joking. COR Kale for $5 says, this election cycle is making for very strange bedfellows. In my opinion of Connor has sank from when I used to like him. S-Class is best class. Thank you. Dash a simple $5 says, how do we know Connor is paid by the DNC? Well, he's not paid by the DNC, but
He's paid by Brianna Wu.
Mike Mills for $2 says, "Why did you lie about Brianna Wu paying Connor?" I don't
He
believe it
told
was
us
a lie.
he told us he was paid by Brianna Wu.
I thought I thought everyone knew that. I thought that was like a thing.
Yeah, I thought that was common knowledge too. I asked him if we could talk about that before the stream, and he said sure.
J. Well, I don't think he. I mean, you mean for you to beat him over the head with it.
I asked him, Sitch. I asked him.
You did. That's fair. J. For 10 Canadian says, to defend yourself, describe your medium. You watch the full context of things. Your content is trying to understand people's motivations and read the tea leaves of culture. You are anti-partisan. Well, thank you.
Yeah, we try to be.
That,
Look,
yeah.
we hate fucking tribalism.
Yes.
All this nonsense is fucking tribalism.
Right.
All of this.
No Matt for $5 says, I love how Adam's New Year's resolution was to be calm, cool, and collective in debates. Then this happens. LOL. Never change, Adam. A-team reigns supreme. Right.
I saw your chats, no man. That's not what you were saying.
MA566 for $5 says, shout out to all the pot smoking, gay loving Californians. There you go.
Of course. I love my gay friends. Come on. Not like too much, obviously. Not in that way. But
oh no, he loves them. Ace for $5 says, Destiny's the ex that gets dumped via text and is super petty about it and pretends that he is somehow isn't upset. Wow.
Ooh. Ouch.
Ostracy for $5 says, I would have loved for you to pull the thread on if you support Trump, you're not liberal. I wonder what Connor thinks all Trump supporters are.
Well, maybe we'll do that on another stream. So,
I mean, that's the kind of, some of the things he was saying, I was curious if we, I don't think we could, but in a different context of conversation to have explored all those ideas. So
Connor, Connor will come on just to come on he would much rather come on a less contentious stream where we talk about something like that. So.
Of course. But no, I'm just saying that's what's annoying about, people, Pisco and all this stuff where people like blow up on you on Twitter or, say things on the streams. It's like, these are all very interesting ideas that I would like to actually explore in a normal conversation. And I feel like if people would just be like,
normal people.
Well, it's weird because this is a very common thing that happens in this Twitter space. It's kind of like a weird, high school, I guess, as opposed to just being like, oh, like you said something that I think is unusual, let's talk about it. Orca for 12 months. Thanks so much. Says, just got back from a road trip across the West. We have such a beautiful country and it pains me we have to share it with Destiny or
I agree.
Terrible. Libertarian Sasquatch for $5 says, I can't stand these moral trials where you need to explain yourself efficiently to be morally reborn in the eyes of Connor.
I know. That's it. Like, look, Libertarian Sasquatch gets it. No one wants to play that game, okay? It's ironic that we listen to Connor being forced to play that game, and then he comes on and he tries to play it with me. Yeah,
that was unique. Garrett Scholler for $10 says, clamoring and craving Destiny's approval is not a good look. Connor needs to pick better idols.
Oh, yeah, totally. He should pick us. We're great idols.
Lives and Devs News Wall specifically for $2 says, Lenfont and Melfont dueled with billiard balls. Really?
Wow. Like they played pool or they threw the billiard balls at each other's
at their faces. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. Dialogue Always for $5 says, I honestly can't think of a single criticism of Adam that comes from the left that he hasn't labeled as dishonest. Well, I mean, people should just not be dishonest. I don't know what you want from us.
Yeah.
Majin for $5 says, hey, Adam, why does everyone hate you and not Sitch? Like every weirdo attacks you, but affords Sitch a ton of slack until they find out he's a Jew.
Oh, you're right. I would rather just get all the hate than to be hated for my immutable characteristics. That is like horrible, but
yeah.
I guess I have one of those personalities that people just love to hate.
Right. Mars University for 10 Canadian says, love you guys, but on the Devin Tracy thing, you guys asked him to clarify he was against the lynching after wrongly mentioning he was for it when he stated many times he was against it.
That was not the...
Okay, wait.
We were talking about the optics of it, the whole thing.
Hold on.
But anyway, go ahead.
No. So, okay. I feel like you're leaving out massively like the context of this conversation, of that entire interaction, Mars, which was that Devin Tracy completely mischaracterized my position. 100%. Okay. Then I mischaracterize his position. And both of our, I'm assuming mine was definitely on a misunderstanding because I'm like, why the fuck is he going so like, why is he spending so much time? My thought process was, why is he spending so much time attacking the character of Emmett Till? That's so weird, right? And then I made the mistake of then prejudging that, saying, okay, was he like in favor of lynching or something? What the fuck? And I was also probably angry because the fact that he was lying about my position to his entire audience, right? And then when he said that no, he wasn't in favor of it, I said, okay, I'm totally fine. I'll go on stream and tell everyone that I was wrong about your opinion. And I said this. I said this 100%. I said it on Twitter. You can go find a tweet. I said, I will 100% go on stream and tell everyone that I was wrong about your position completely. Okay. Will you go and tell everyone that you were completely wrong about my position? And he said, no, fuck you. Okay. So I don't know how you keep leaving that out of the conversation completely. And I did say in the stream, I said I was wrong about his position. I think he's an asshole, but he's totally wrong about his position. But he totally just kept lying about my position and refused to correct the record. So I don't know why you keep leaving that out of the story. Anyways, Mars University for 5 Canadians says the Destiny lies thing is because Connor was shilling asking for specific examples on behalf of Destiny. Maybe. Damalus for 29 months. Thank you so much. Says, I'm curious why it comes down to policy. Wasn't the election denial and January 6th really bad? Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, you even said it was in the conversation.
Yeah, totally. But yeah, I mean,
there's like this weird, there's like this thing that's, I don't know, super weird because we used to have like people who were like more pro right wing that would get mad at us. And now I feel like there's a part of our audience that's like so anti-Trump that's like mad at you for not just unicategorically saying that, you've cast Trump into the pit of fire.
But I love it though.
If I take myself out of I said I wasn't voting and I'm going to put myself in the hypothetical voting thing. And I said, even if I was voting, I would not vote for Trump categorically because of what he did. But I said I could go back on that. If Kamala Harris comes out as a massive cultural Marxist, okay, like 100%, mask off, just cultural Marxist, right? I might go back on everything I said and vote for Trump anyway, because I would say, okay, we have two people who I feel like are going to cause or could cause massive destruction to our country and damage to our country. Which one do I think is going to cause less damage to my country? Right. And with Trump, I'd say, okay, well, the institutions held the first time, the institutions are kind of already set up against Trump in the first place, where, if Kamala Harris comes out as a cultural Marxist, there's really very little cultural pressure to prevent that from sort of creeping in. That's my argument. Has been for the last 8 years. Right.
That's my argument, that the political institutions were literally set up against what Trump wants to do. But all of the cultural institutions are aligned with what Kamala wants to do if she comes out as like a total, identity politics.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Like, so again, yes, I think that the January 6th electors shit was really awful and is definitely, in my mind, cast Trump out of the potential for voting him unless something extreme happens in the other direction. So, and everyone's free to judge that into whatever category of vote or not vote they want to.
And I don't think it's fair to impugn the character of the people who have a different perspective than you, because that's literally how democracy is supposed to work. Like, it's the wisdom of crowds. It's like, I might have this perspective, you might have that perspective. I encourage you to vote that perspective. Like, if you think what Trump did on January 6th just makes him ineligible, fucking show up, vote against him. Vote for the candidate that is most likely to beat him. Okay. If more people in the country have that perspective, they will win out. That perspective will be the law of the land. Like, that's how it's supposed to work. We are like a collective brain working together to solve the problem.
Right. No, and I'm glad you said that, because I think a lot of people would perceive that as like us not demanding strict adherence on this issue. They'd say that's the audience capture.
Well, look, I don't know the right answer.
No, I know, but I'm saying some people on the left would say, oh, if you're not saying that every single person that was voting for Trump is a piece of shit, that's audience capture. Right. And I think that's because partially they do believe we don't, and this is disagreement too. I think those people do think that Trump is some kind of authoritarian fascist dictator who's going to use his second term to waylay the country into some sort of insane level of destruction. And they wrongly think that we also agree with that, but that we're willing to basically
no.
shill that
Yeah.
for, a few super chats, which is
God,
insane.
no. God, no.
Which is completely insane. And as we've, said billion times, we don't think that's the case whatsoever. We have a completely different view.
We've even gone as far as saying, like, if we had a crystal ball and knew that was going to be the outcome, of course we would vote against Trump.
Of course, right. Yeah, exactly. And, we've said a billion times about how we viewed, Trump's actions, which were not defending the fucking at all regarding the elector scheme, was based on him was not based on him being an authoritarian and wants to be king of America forever, but was based on him having this idea about wanting to be the high status of a two-term president and avoid the loser status of being a one-term president. And that was the motivating goal here on January 6th. I think that's the motivating goal. And you're correct, Adam. I think that's the motivating goal for him running again. So since we view it through that lens, we don't view him as, wanting to become king of America. Obviously, if we did, we'd have a completely different view on the situation. So.
Right. Look, and part of the democracy is we all have different perspectives, and the coming together to vote is supposed to identify the clearest perspective.
Right.
Yeah. So you either believe in democracy or you don't, right? I believe in democracy.
Right, but that's the issue, and this is sort of the number one constant misinterpretation that everyone gets into these disagreements is there is the baseline assumption that someone believes the same worldview as you, and therefore they must be evil or lying for disagreeing with your position.
Right.
And it's like, no, it's a very different view of all this stuff. That nobody guy for $10 says the fact that a large segment of Sitch and Adam's audience is to the right of them and you all constantly argue and explain your challenge positions is the exact opposite of audience capture. Weird guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it's so bizarre to hear that claim. So, and also frustrating for us too, to just hear this, thing thrown back at us, which is so wildly untrue.
Yeah, I don't know how to fight it effectively. I really don't. And I mean, that's taxing. I don't know how to solve this problem. So it's like an informational warfare, and we're just completely at a disadvantage. So
right.
It is what it is. I can't stand the people who are like, you guys are pussies. Like if we went on Destiny's stream, it would just solve all of this. It's like, oh God, it's such a fucking retarded perspective.
That's 100% untrue. There's no way that we'd have a conversation with Destiny where he'd be like, oh, I was wrong, or my audience was wrong to characterize you in this fashion. That's like just
never going to happen.
That would never happen. Yeah. I don't think that's ever happened ever in any Destiny stream, but
it is what it is. We are the underdogs. We're being misrepresented, and there's nothing we can do about it. So,
Jack Pasabic for $20. Thank you so much. Says when the HH occupiers were arrested, I predicted that Colombia would not impose any penalties and Bragg would drop all charges. I also predict New York City will eventually pay them huge settlements in police brutality lawsuits.
Really?
What's HH occupy? Is that the college thing? Is that the college protest? What's the HH occupy?
I don't know. Hamas. I don't know what the HH is. Is that a school?
I don't remember. Lesson on the chat. Ace for $5 says every awful thing said about Destiny has been proven true, i.e. he has a toxic audience. They're filling up the chat right now. There you go.
Yeah, for $10. Look, I saw him and just whatever. Who cares?
Kale for $10 says, my issue is framing Hutch, Pisco, Destiny as leftists when they're clearly liberals in opposition to fringe leftists. I also agree you can't identify as liberals and vote Trump. Love the show regardless. Yes, I'm S-class. Well, I mean,
I fundamentally disagree. I don't know why you can't. Like, it's not physically impossible for a liberal to vote for Trump. I mean, you would come to some conclusion about which candidate is likely to have the, like, sometimes you might take the expanding of individual freedom might take a backseat to other moral priorities. Like it's not the be all and end all priority above all others. Does that make sense, Sitch?
Yeah, it does. HH was Hind Hall. Oh, okay, that was the Columbia University thing. Thank you. But no, I mean, I don't think Destiny, Hutch, or Pisco are leftists in terms of them being socialists. I do think, well, I believe that Hutch and Pisco are progressives. I know Destiny, I think, used to identify as progressive. I don't know if he's changed his stance on that
I
now.
don't think he does anymore.
Right. But so I would definitely say that Hutch and Pisco are progressives.
If you look up the definition of leftist on the internet, it just means someone with left-wing politics. And I think a lot of people use leftist just to mean lefty or someone on the left. I do know the distinction. I don't think it's relevant now because so many people just use leftist and lefty as synonyms. So it is what it is. I mean,
right.
Yeah.
Well, when I say leftist on the stream, I mean specifically
Socialist. Yeah.
socialist or someone to the left of being a left-wing liberal. So
it's tough to say socialist though without being impugned as the conspiracy theorist type.
Right. Exactly,
so that's why people like to use the term leftist instead.
Right.
So.
Right.
And I get that. It's just the complexity of language, obviously.
Worker for $5 says Connor's game is old. I don't know how these creators are just okay with having the same conversation over and over. They probably think they have to. How tragic. Yeah, I feel like I said it and we never really stuck to it. I said we're not going to have that conversation anymore. And then we keep getting stuck in that conversation.
What's the conversation?
About us having to defend ourselves to these bad faith actors, sort of casting our position in this wacky way. I said we're not having this conversation anymore. And then we
Did you?
I did, yeah.
Well, I don't know what to do. It's like
no. I'm not blaming you. It's just it's on me. So we should just probably not have this conversation anymore because I'm just tired of it.
No, I think you kind of are forced to because I mean you have to defend your reputation. I don't like.
I guess
they can assign any reputation they want to us. That's horrible. Right. And look, this is why it's so bad having these interactions with bad faith people is because they don't give a fuck. They don't care.
Well, yeah, and it's the thing that's like really annoying about it from like a meta conversation perspective is that essentially what, when you're talking to someone on the left who throws this label at us and it's like, okay, well, we're not because we've criticized the right here, 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 and here. It's like, it forces us to be in this weird position where it's like, oh, we have to just show you that we've shit on the right sufficiently enough to reach some magic quota, but it will never reach the magic quota because in their mind, it's like, unless you shit on it 100% or 99.9% of the time, it's just not enough.
Yeah. So, yeah.
That's why I hate the conversation.
Yeah. Look, we steered clear of that conversation though. This was about just misrepresenting us. So
no, correct. I just mean that conversation was in the broader context.
They're tied.
Of that conversation.
They're tied together.
Right. Mitch for $2 says thoughts on Frieren. There you go. You're not audience capture because we haven't watched the Elf Frieren anime yet.
We should though. That'd be fun.
Lucifer Doberman for $2 says Dev, stop talking to me for explaining that. Oh, Devin, stop talking to me that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Lucifer was a big supporter of Devin too.
Right.
That's so weird.
Yep. Lucifer Doberman for $2 says it is okay for people to make mistakes.
True. Yes.
Sketch for $5 says the elector stuff is countered by the summer of love / BLM revolution. In my eyes, neither party has truly won my full trust back yet.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I've heard a lot of people I've talked to, both on the internet and in real life, who have said that exact thing. I don't know if I agree with it 100%. I think I might agree with it like 90%. And I do understand the intuition there because on one hand, you say, okay, well, like the Democrats, they didn't necessarily like do the action / support it directly. In fact, they were sort of kind of trying to distance themselves from it. But I feel like the left, the Democrats, but more really not even just the Democrat politicians, the media's kind of two-faced, duplicitous, soft criticism of it. It was really what I found so hyper disgusting. And it was straight, like that whole situation was so like it was literally set up to be the perfect simulation moment. Okay, the perfect not real moment. Because if you remember, everyone forgets this. Right before the BLM protest, there was all these anti-mask protests. There's all these non-violent people on the right that were protesting against the COVID lockdowns and the forced mask mandates. And they were out there protesting, and every single person in the media was crying about them, calling that these people were horrible monsters because they're out there spreading COVID. And then, like a week later, all these BLM riots explode. And what do you see? You see all these fucking people come out and say, oh, it's not a big deal. They're wearing masks. They're outside. Like bending the fuck over backwards to make all these excuses. And it was so disgustingly dishonest. And I understand why that, like when that happened, I'm sure that like really just, and triggered the fuck out of me, triggered the fuck out of a lot of people just saying, okay, this is like bullshit, after that moment.
Yep.
So. Gay Ban for $5 says, is it fascist for Democrats to farm left-wing gangs to sack public institutions and physically intimidate political opponents with Democrat official support? I mean, I don't know if it's fascist, but it's definitely authoritarian. So, or awful. So. Sitch is complaining about something he wanted. What did I want? I don't even know what that means. Bragg for 12 months says, gotta get it right, Adam. Connor's paid by Progressive Victory, a literally progressive dark money pact, not woo. Sold his soul to the lowest bidder. Ouch, terrible.
Oh, okay,
Ace,
I got it.
there you go. Ace for $5 says, Destiny loves to play the victim. Like every abusive person, they try to paint themselves as the real victim. Destiny wants yes men and nothing else. Dameless for $5 says, meant nothing by the January 6th question. I'm in the honest opinion that people are high on the election and need to fucking chill. I agree.
I so agree. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. Stock for $5 says Pisco would instantly become a socialist if the Democrat Party decided to swing totally in that direction. Let's be honest.
True.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. I know it's hard with Pisco. It's always hard to tell what his real position is because he does this thing where he tries to like be nice, but it feels like he's only being nice not because he believes in being nice. He's being nice to try to like sucker you into a trap, like into a corner. So you don't know what he actually believes.
It's so slimy.
Right.
The fact that he's an attorney makes perfect sense to me.
Right. Chachi McSwag for $10 says, big disagree that Destiny, Pisco, and Hutch are against extremists just because they bully them on stream. Sometimes they turn around and say anyone who mentions CRT or wokeness is dog whistling. Have they really said that?
Really? Wow.
That's pretty crazy if they really say that.
Interesting.
Right.
Interesting.
Not Gay Ben for 28 months says, I am not gay. I am not. Some people may say I am. They're losers. They're frauds. Never seen bigger frauds. I'm not gay. Everyone says it. Everyone knows it. There you go.
Good to know.
Electro for $10 says, S-Class is best class, and A-Team favorite candies are Dum-Dums. Just start listening. Did you guys already read my super chat from yesterday? No, we didn't, but thank you for reminding us. We'll do it right now.
But we will, yeah.
If so, instead,
Christian Baller too.
That's true. If so, instead of Pisco, extend that to the left after today. There you go. Jan Maritz Kortempkamp for $5 says, Dems hating rich people isn't bad because they are the party of compassion. It's hypocritical because top-level Dems are mostly rich as fuck and often through politics.
Nobody cares about hypocrisy, though. That's the problem. I mean, individuals care about hypocrisy. It drives them crazy. But when you get in this team politics situation, people don't care about the hypocrisy on their side. So when you point it out because it's driving you crazy, just know that it's pretty much invisible to anyone on that team.
Right.
They're like, this isn't hypocrisy. I mean, this is just the way it is.
This is interesting. So this is a perfect example of sort of like how the tribalism, the exact thing that I said about how if you don't condone, if you don't say like, oh, if you're a Trump supporter, you're a piece of shit, right? If you don't say that, then you're not on their side. Because there's this guy in the chat who's claiming that you, Adam, admitted to being audience captured. And this is the quote they had from you that they're saying shows that you're audience captured. Okay, ready for this?
Ready. Apparently
you said, so, and I don't know what the context is, obviously, but so every single conservative in our audience is not going to take my opinion seriously because they're going to say he's not one of us. So why am I going to try? Why am I trying to be something that I am not to these people to try and win them over? It's not going to be feasible, right? So,
Mhm.
so what you're saying, which first of all, this is in a horribly butchered context, but what you're saying is like, oh, I'm not going to just say all these people are total pieces of shit because then obviously they're not going to listen to me. And then
Right.
that's this person saying, well, then that means your audience captured. If you're not going to say all these people that I disagree with are horrible people. And and I'm glad you brought that up because that exactly illustrates my exact point on the issue.
Which is
Which is that if you don't say that all the people you disagree with are horrible or dishonest or immoral people and call them like evil, then then that side is going to claim you're just on their side.
right.
They're going to view
Yeah.
you as a traitor. So
You're just audience captured by them.
right.
Whatever.
And but going back to the rich thing, it is interesting because you talk about like being divisive. It is a P plus P equals R thing. Since the rich are viewed as like in the power position, it's not seen as divisive to talk about how evil the rich people are. So Electro for $5 says, by the way, I love dum-dums. Yes, they're real. Yeah, I know. Who doesn't know about dum-dums? The little lollipop things. Okay, what was the super chat we missed from the other day?
Oh, we're all caught up? Really?
Well, I didn't read the stream live yet though. But Christian
Terrible.
Baller yesterday said for $5, how many votes do y'all think Trump gained from the Theon Vaughn interview? Super smart, in my opinion, to do shows like he has been.
Yeah, Trump has been doing the Vivek thing where he's going on all of these podcasts. Like he might have literally got it from Vivek. Vivek probably called up the Trumpster and said, "Listen, got to get out there on the shows. Got to talk to people. Win over the internet." It's probably bad advice because we all
Didn't
saw
work for
how
Vivek.
yeah, we all saw how it did for Vivek's
Right.
campaign, right? But
well, I didn't watch it. Someone that did watch it and said that Trump did good. That wasn't you. Someone else was telling me about it, and they were kind of making this argument that it'd be good for Trump to go on like not exactly directly political podcast to humanize himself. And I agree with that in theory. That seems like it would make sense. But then, and that's true. If Trump could cultivate that attitude, that would definitely be useful to his political campaign because a lot of what the Democrats are running on is the fact that Trump is evil. But I don't know if the podcast route is the way to do it because, as you just said, Vivek tried that, and obviously that didn't really seem to work for him at all. So I don't know if it would be effective for Trump either.
and are independents watching this podcast? I'm not sure that they are. So
I don't know.
And I don't think the mainstream media covered it at all. Like the mainstream media is covering DNC. And I do think, I mean, part of their strategy with, pumping up Kamala Harris is going to be not giving Trump all this free media. So Trump might start saying like totally outrageous things to try to get in the news cycle, and it just not working.
Or it just plays directly into what Democrats wanted to play in terms of
they'll cover it.
Crazy.
Yeah. They'll cover it from their personal perspective. So
Electro for $20, thank you, says, by the way, the reason why I say I wonder who is because he 100% believes Adam is going to vote for Trump, even though he never said that exactly. Also, you can use Pisco or the left's argument to defend Trump in ridiculous ways.
Yeah, Pisco believes I'm going to vote Trump, which, I mean, it seems unlikely to me that I will vote Trump. So, yeah.
Wow, the fact that you said that means your audience captured, even though it's the exact opposite.
Yeah. Look,
so stupid.
This election is totally fascinating. Like, I'm so glad that we're witnessing this. And it's funny that it went from being like kind of boring, right? The primary, just Trump cleaned house. The Democrats didn't really have a primary. Like there was really no primary season. So it's all just heating up now, but it is interesting. And I don't know if is part of the fact that people are losing their fucking minds over this part of the entertainment value.
It is.
I don't know. Maybe
it's funny, and maybe that should be the way that we just look at it going forward. Is because I listen. You've made a lot of good predictions in the past, but this has been one of my best predictions. which is I
Uh-huh.
said months. I said at the beginning of this year. I said months ago. I said as we get closer to the election, people are going to become more and more unhinged
Yeah.
about this. They're going to be completely unhinged. Like things were kind of calm. Things are going to get completely unhinged as we get closer to the election. And I think that got compounded by the fact that Biden dropped out and then Kamala jumped in.
Oh
Because it
yeah.
made a lot of people on the left who felt like they probably didn't have a chance, that they had a chance. And it made a lot of people on the right who thought that they had this, excuse me, but they had this in the bag, think, oh no, this is up for a competition now. So you have like people just kind of getting wild recently.
Yeah, this is one of those elections where once we figure out who the actual winner is, there's going to be a lot of people who are like depressed for days.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not really one of those people. I'm not going to be depressed for days, which I think, look, I think that irks people too, to some extent, because I think some people who are like super invested in it are like, they want you to feel that depression that they're going to feel. Like me
Right.
just saying that, they're thinking, yeah, I am going to be depressed if my candidate loses. So, but I
Yeah.
encourage you not to feel that way. Like, why do you want to get gray hairs and, you know, worry yourself into an early grave over something like this?
Well,
The
see,
country is going to be fine either way.
that's the true, to put a bow on this,
Yeah.
that's the true way to know that we're not audience captured. Okay. Because what you're asking for, which we both is what we're both kind of pushing here, is the exact opposite of what you would do if you're audience captured. Because
Of
if you're audience
course.
captured and you want to just make money, you understand that just the people that follow political content on average want to be as emotionally and energetically invested in the narrative of the battle between good and evil as humanly possible.
Yep.
They don't want you to have the mentality of like, listen, we're going to be fine. Everyone just kind of relax, and let's look at this kind of an interesting perspective, right? Most people, I mean, obviously our audience likes that because that's why they follow us, but most people that follow political content
They don't
aren't really
want that.
looking for that. Right?
No, they're not.
So
They want to join a team and hunt down the enemy.
exactly. Yeah.
But whatever. Look, we will always have a smaller audience, and we're kind of resigned to that because of that perspective. But I think that's obviously the reason why the audience capture label is so laughable.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if I read this yesterday. Saw it for $2. This was about his friend that believes in JQ. He told me about Trump sending angry texts to Miriam Adelson about giving money to the ADL and to AIPAC, and that it meant, quote, Trump exposed the JQ. He hates Trump, by the way. That's kind of hilarious. I mean, that sounds anti-Semitic, I'd imagine, just from a guess, but who knows? Dr. Diller for $2 says, Adam, I think you have some weird hangup about caring or being angry. There's no moral failing about being angry when someone is calling your integrity into question. You care definitionally, or you wouldn't be animated about it.
Well, but the context of him saying it, he's trying to make the argument that I'm irrational, that I'm emotional, that I'm not making coherent sense because I'm rattled. Like, that's the argument that he's making. So I 100% agree with you. I think someone impugns your character, you should get angry. That is the proper emotion to have when you're being unfairly targeted, right?
I think, it's interesting. I'm glad you said that, because I think that's a really important distinction to make. And I hadn't thought of it that way. And I don't think most people have thought of it that way, is to just, and maybe that would be the thing to say in the future. So like, of course I'm angry. You lied about us, or you lied about me specifically, and impugned my character. And I'm angry at you for doing that action. That doesn't mean that the basis of my anger is not rational.
Justified. Yeah.
It's completely rational and justified. Yeah.
It is a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. Magora for $2 says, I've changed my mind. I regret asking you to bring Connor on. Bring back the interviews with authors of esoteric books. More Hans Moeller. Hell, I'd take more MMT even. Wow, there you go.
Look, MMT for the win.
There you go. Dr. Diller for $2 says, if you have some stupid, bizarre definition of a word everyone else knows, you can't throw a hissy fit when people don't interpret it in your silly way. Leftist word games tactics tier. Yeah, that's completely true. And I assume you're talking about, Connor's weird definition of audience capture.
Right. So, he knew what he was doing.
Dr. Dealer for another $2 says, I hate the lesser of two evils shit. My vote is the outcome of procedural thinking on my part. What good is my exercise of political power if I must judge the outcome above all? I'm not a utilitarian. I have principles. Yeah, that's totally fair. If that's the way that anyone wants to look at their vote and to use their vote. 100%.
Yeah. I try to turn it around on them because it's just weird. They're acting like I am deciding the election. Like my vote is the vote that will decide who is president of the United States.
Right.
It's like,
right.
get the fuck out of here, okay?
Ace for $5 says, sent so many super chats about Destiny because I hate seeing people I respect get treated so badly for no reason. For no reason can Destiny wait, for no reason be Destiny can be an adult. I think that means say for no reason Destiny can't be an adult. I'm assuming that's what you meant to say. But thank you, Ace, for the donations.
Yeah. I just we had an amicable relationship with Destiny. It's just weird.
Right.
So I don't know what to do. Like I like to think Sitch and I are trying to be adults about this, right? I mean,
right.
Yeah.
Romeo's a cat $5 says, I thought it was funny that Bernie Sanders' speech was crapping on billionaires, and then a couple speakers later was a billionaire. Ironic. Yeah, and everyone was talking about that. It was pretty funny.
Right.
Dallin Nelson for $20. Thanks so much. Says Connor never even attempted to defend himself against the progressive victory charges. It's really weird. His responses always seem to be to get angry and insult. Why?
Because he can't defend himself. He literally takes money from progressive victory.
Right. I think he said he's not anymore. I think, but if I recall correctly, I think it was. My understanding was that it was just a public that everyone knew. It was like a publicly acknowledged thing.
I thought that too. Yeah. He seemed open to talk about it before the stream. So
right. Lives in Dev's new wall specifically for $2 says, can I still ask JQs? Of course you can. Is it rude to eat in a Mikev? I don't even know what the fuck a Mikev is. What the fuck is that?
Is that like
a Jewish ritual bath? Oh, okay.
Oh
I've never been in one of those. It's interesting.
What if you're eating like a foot-long hot dog, but super suggestively?
Well, first of all, if it's a pork hot dog, you're in trouble because obviously that's not kosher, right? So I'm gonna say it's probably a big party foul to eat a hot dog and a Mikev,
okay,
a Mikvev, or however you say that word. Fiery Patriot for $2 says, I'm a secret right-wing show that loves y'all. Thank you, Fiery Patriot. Appreciate it.
Yes, look at that. A right-wing audience who we're supposed to demoralize and hate all the time. Yeah. Disrespect.
I know. Very Dead Horse for $10 says, as someone who finds Harris and Walz gross as humans, Trump is also. I think their policies will further kill the economy and personal freedoms. I don't care who you vote for. I'm here to think and to be entertained. Well, that's why you're a based individual, Very Dead Horse.
Yeah, of course. You've been with our audience for a long time, too.
Right. Electro for $10. Thank you so much. Says, by the way, I'm considering myself on the center right. You guys convinced me to think more rationally about the dishonesty on the right, and I 100% am into MMT, and I'm fascinated about it.
Whoa, wow, okay, good. Look, I keep saying more people on the right need to look at MMT because I think it is factually correct. And I mean, I don't know if the left is going to bring out MMT, you should say, okay, and then use it to advocate for your policy goals. Why not?
Right.
Yeah.
Fiery Patriot for 15 months. Thank you so much. Says 15 months of the only podcast where I pay for my membership. A-Team reigns supreme. There you go.
Yeah, thanks. Look, and I like to think we do have more interesting conversations. So,
right.
Yeah, there is obviously a market for partisan content, people yelling at each other from a partisan perspective. But I guess we are kind of in the breaking points, multiple perspectives kind of space, right?
I mean,
nonpartisan.
I've been listening to Breaking Points recently, and I don't feel like there's a lot of
overlap with us.
Well, no, I'm gonna say I feel like occasionally there's a big disagreement, but I feel like very often there's not a big disagreement.
Right.
So I think we're much better than Breaking Points, especially in terms of getting to the bottom of an issue.
What about Robbie plus whoever they have? Yelling
that's just for comedy. Days. That's just for comedy. Jessica.
But they do try to have the they have. I guess we aren't because we don't really have an insane left-wing perspective on the show.
No, I mean, yeah, neither of us has we don't have that left-right dichotomy either. So
right. yeah, we kind of don't. So
But
look, we're
anyway,
completely unique.
yes. Thank you guys so much for your incredibly generous super chats today.
Yeah,
Really
we're way
appreciate
over.
it. Calm was speaking tonight. I guess if it's interesting, we'll talk about it tomorrow. Is that the plan?
Sure, we can. I can
Okay.
stream in the morning if you want, or I mean, we could maybe stream later tonight if you want. Well, I guess we'll leave it open.
We'll see. I mean, because I feel like I guess it depends. We'll see. We'll play it by ear, whether we stream after, really late after, or in the morning. I mean, if it's just really boring, I don't know. We might not. Stream at
Yeah,
all
we're
now,
not going to
but-
stream. We'll talk to you guys
Right.
on Sunday.
So yeah, so we'll see. If it's really interesting, then we'll probably be here tomorrow. If not, then we'll see Sunday. So
Right.
oh, thank you. One more super chat. Adam Gadboff for $5 says Connor is quote right wing Sunday. Hyper autistic definitions of words that only he understands that the rest of the planet know is something else.
Right.
There you go. Anyway, thank you so much, and we'll see
Yeah.
you possibly tomorrow and definitely Sunday.
Take care, everyone.